you guys. I am so sorry. We had technicalities, boy. Woo! For being late. But I had to regroup because, just like I stated in the last live about 2 days ago, because I missed yesterday's live, I had to have a break. Some difficulties. Yes, went through some difficulties today. But let me see. One moment, you guys. Today we're going to talk about, you know the routine, how we roll, how we actually roll. The first thing we always do is what? Do the Hello, Art of War. Thank you for coming in. What's up, Josh? What's up, Joshua? Hello, hello, hello. Yes, we had it was wild. It was wild yesterday, 2 days ago. That's why I had to actually take a break because when it came down to YouTube, it's like I'm learning things. I'm new. Okay. Hello, hello, Narendra. Yes, I'm learning things. I'm new at a lot of these things. So if you guys can remember the video that I did. But before I talk about it, I'm gonna read the disclaimer because YouTube is really trying it. Fair use copyright disclaimer. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, commenting, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. For fair use is a use by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Now, hello, OG Brand. Hello, Narendra. Hello, Joshua. Hello, Art of War. Thank you guys for coming in. I apologize for coming late. I apologize. I'm going to see how this live goes. But before I start, I want to just say, I don't know if you guys are YouTube content creators or plan on becoming YouTube content creators. I just had to look at some of my videos because the last live that I did with you guys, I had to literally change the thumbnail so many times. It was not even funny because I'm gonna show it to you guys what I'm talking about. I literally had to change the thumbnail so many times. Why? Because YouTube was not allowing me to get make money off these videos. So that's why I had to. That's one of the things. Now, I will get more into detail with it. But like I stated, I was going to make a video on it under my membership plan for you guys. Yes. Hello, OG Brand. Thank you. You say politic. Nice. OG Brand says, if you're happy and you know it, then clap your hands. I like you. Now, today, I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to do this. You guys tell me. Because it's been rumors going around when you have certain topics, they don't promote it, okay? And so I'm trying to see, do you guys want me to start with the Diddy situation? Yes, it's another Diddy episode. Or I can talk about the results of Mr. T, Donald Trump. It's all up to you. Say yes, Diddy. You say yes, Diddy. OG says politics, just to make it happen, and we all gotta work together. Yes, we do. OG Brand, I'm so happy that you said that because it was a lot. I'm serious. A lot is going on with this YouTube world. I'm so serious. But yes, okay. If you wish, we will proceed with Mr. Diddy. Mr. Diddy. But I'm gonna highlight with what OG Brand said because I needed that confirmation. I needed some type of calmness. Now, please be patient with me, you guys. I'm gonna give it about 15-30 minutes. I'm gonna see how it goes because I might restart the live. But yes, with the Diddy situation, Diddy has some more news. I mean, I told you guys it keeps coming. It keeps coming every week. There is something new. It is ridiculous. I mean, it is always something new. So this week, I don't know if you guys heard about this lady. It is really something else. I'm going to show it to you guys. This lady down here, I'm just, whoo, boy, this lady. That's all I can say is this lady that I'm, Now, the lady that I'm going to show you guys, her name is T Wallace. And I thought I had her picture. As you can see, I did the title. Her name is T Wallace. She will be a possible witness against Diddy. And I'm going to show you a video of Miss T Wallace. Okay, yes, I'm going to show a video of Miss T Wallace. She is making a lot of noise. Has anybody heard of T Wallace? Okay, and hello, Mr. MPJ. I'm at a Diddy. Oh no, not a Diddy party. Oh Lord, no, come back. No, get out the Diddy party. Get out the Diddy party. No, don't come to the light. Don't go to the Diddy party. But I'm going to show you Miss T Wallace before I break her all the way down. Okay, this is T Wallace, ladies and gentlemen. Okay.
I am the clout. Clout is chasing me. No, but it's like they get the wrong idea.
Now, that is Miss T Wallace. Okay, I'm going to play it one more time for you, ladies and gentlemen. T Wallace, she will be a possible witness against Diddy in the trial that will be next year against Diddy, the federal trial on his 3 indictments in New York, May the 5th. Now, the lady that I just showed you, her name is T Wallace. And hello, you guys. This is Politic Gram. Please hit that like button. I'm going to show another clip of Miss T Wallace because she made headlines recently discussing a lot of things about this gentleman right here, unfortunately, about this gentleman right here that we're talking about, Mr. Diddy Combs. OG Brand says, she beautiful. I want to make her my wife. She hot just like Papa John's pizza. Guys, please hit that like button and subscribe. Yes, we are talking about Diddy, and there is a new witness, and the person that we're talking about, she is in a documentary about Diddy, and I'm going to show a clip of the documentary that she's in. It's under TMZ, and this is fair use. Fair use.
P. Diddy's. I was at one of P. Diddy's freak-offs. I was at one of P. Diddy's freak-offs.
You saw celebrities there that you recognized.
There was a rapper that we all know. There was a rapper that we all know.
I'm hearing about paying victims to keep their name out of it.
They were high off something.
Do you know people who have paid off to keep this quiet?
I think I said too much.
Off something.
Do you know people who have paid off to keep this quiet?
I think I said too much.
Off something.
Do you know people who have paid off to keep this quiet?
I think I said too much.
Straight up porn directed by...
Now, okay, viewer discretion. This is Politic Gram, fair use. That clip that you just saw, that was under TMZ of the lady that I'm going to be talking about. This lady, her name, not this lady. And hello, you guys. This is Politic Gram. Please hit that like button. Yes, we are talking about Diddy, and the clip that you just saw, that was the new documentary. It's a multi-series under, unfortunately, I cannot make this up, ladies and gentlemen, under Tubi by TMZ, so you can take that with a grain of salt. Now, the lady that we're discussing is Miss T Wallace. I'm just going to read a little bit about Miss T Wallace for you guys, because she might be an upcoming possible witness. Okay, I repeat, a possible witness. Now, T Wallace, she might be a possible witness against Diddy in the May the 5th of next year in the infamous federal trial, okay, Diddy has coming up. If you guys don't know about the trial, we will get into detail about Mr. Diddy's trial. With this lady, she's a woman that claims she once saw, you know what, dress up like Barbies, okay? And the Barbie I'm using, this particular picture, she stated that she walked into a all-white party and she saw little people. That's the way she said it, because she's afraid to get into more detail with it. So she just said she saw little people dressed similar to this, okay? Now, Tanae Wallace claims she says she's an aspiring singer. That's what she told TMZ in the documentary. However, I did my research. She's been through a lot. Okay, I'm not gonna put anything against her. Yes, she has been through a lot. I want to be careful with my words because I don't want to, put any, badger anybody. I'll say it that way. Now, with this lady that we're talking about, okay, Miss Tanae Wallace, with her, she stated, I want to make sure, and thank you guys for coming in. Please hit that like button. We are having a conversation. Shout out to Narendra, aka India, because she was the one that told me to talk about Diddy first. So we're gonna actually talk about Diddy's situation. Yes, there is a new episode with Diddy. Okay, now I'm going to go back to this picture. Now, with Miss Tanae Wallace, she stated how she saw little people in an all-white Diddy party. And one of the first people that she saw at this all-white Diddy party, unfortunately, was one of Diddy's sons. I cannot make this up. And the son that she discussed that she saw at a Diddy party, and let me move this to the side. One of the sons that she says she saw at a Diddy party was Christian Combs, okay? And the son that she says she saw, I'm going to show him to you, that she says she saw at the Diddy party, was this gentleman right here. And according to her, she said she went to this all-white party in Miami, Florida. And yes, Miami, Florida. This is at the same home that Diddy is trying to request the judge to bond out, and he's using that home, the home that we're talking about, this alleged home, he put up for $50 million for a bond. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are connecting all of these darn dots. Now, but please hit that like button. Talking about Diddy. Yes, we're talking about Diddy this morning. Yes, good morning. It's Eastern time, 7:20 a.m. And yes, there's a new issue going on. And for all the new people that are coming in, I'm going to show the clip of the lady that I'm talking about, who is coming with these new accusations in a documentary that she's doing, as well as interviews that she has been recently doing. And the person that I'm talking about is this person right here. I'm going to show her just a little clip. This person right here. Oops, sorry. This particular person right here, okay, her name is Tanae Wallace. She's currently pregnant, okay, and in this particular clip, she did an interview. She did an interview on YouTube, just talking about her life. This particular clip, okay, this is how she looks. Now, she's a beautiful woman. I'm not going to lie. She is a very beautiful woman. However, with Miss Tanae Wallace, she did state that she actually went to an all-white party with a group of girls, a group of women, and she flew there with a prince. Yes, a prince, an actual prince, who flew her as well as other people on a plane from Los Angeles, where she's originally from, flew her to Miami, okay, to go to this all-white party. And when they went to this all-white party, in her allegations, okay, this is what she says, and I'm being very careful because I do not want Diddy's attorneys or the federal prosecutors to send me a subpoena to come to court, because I don't have it, okay? I'm just a reporter. I'm just going off what we're doing, research, okay? She says she saw Christian Combs at this party, and Christian Combs, yes, she saw Christian Combs at this party. I'm not going to get into how much as far as age goes. We're going to break it down. What year all this quote unquote happened, where she flew from Los Angeles to Miami to this all white party. But she says one of the first people that she saw when she went into this house, this mansion in Miami, Florida, that's the same mansion that's being put up for $50 million bond, okay, in Diddy's request to get out. And hello Northern Dame, thank you for coming in. Narendra says it makes sense now. It makes sense. Have freak off parties in Dubai. You see what people are saying in the comments? That's why I'm just like, I'm just here to give the news, okay? Because according to Diddy, as far as T Wallace, she said when she went in there, Diddy wasn't the first one she saw, okay? The first one she saw, okay, that handed her, yes, ladies and gentlemen, she said one of the first people that she saw that handed her some slippers, okay, was this person right here, Diddy's son, okay, Christian Combs, okay? I want people to understand that. Robin Hood resident says, speak about those Democrats. Hello, Robin Hood resident. I'm going to talk about, like I said, I got you, Robin Hood. If you guys want me to bounce back, I can bounce back, but somebody requested, I think it was Narendra, shout out to India, requested for me to talk about Diddy first. But yes, Robin Hood, I have you. Trust me. I will show you a little glimpse of my research that I have done. Okay, you see this? Yes, I have done my research. I'll talk about Mr. Giuliani, because just to give a little taste, a little tease, Giuliani is due to hand over his possessions, okay, by tomorrow. Okay, yes, Giuliani is due to hand over all his so-called possessions and cash, and allegedly he's only worth $10 to $15 million, but he has tried to file bankruptcy so many times it's not even funny. And according to what has been going around, even after Donald Trump has became the 47th president, he won it through the electoral votes for you can say falsely or fairly, that's up to you. I'm just going off of the electoral votes he won. Donald Trump still owes Rudy Giuliani $2 million, okay? And Rudy Giuliani has until tomorrow. Yes, I cannot make this up. He has until tomorrow to actually hand over all his possessions. Hello, you guys. Thank you for coming in. I'm just going off how the room is moving. So, shout out to Robin Hood resident. They wanted me to actually talk about bounce it back to politics. Yes, DJ, this is English. Hello, Iris. Iris says, remember when the Democrats dressed in white and sit on their hands at the State of the Union address? Whoa. Now, I would say this. Now, when it comes down to this politic world here in America, now, the person that I'm really kind of giving the side eye to, I will say this, is I cannot believe it is reports allegedly that Kamala Harris spent $1 billion. Yes, you heard right, ladies and gentlemen. She spent $1 billion to actually pay for her campaign. And it's rumors and speculations that her campaign now owes $20 million. Bolt says, remember when Democrats dress in white horses? I'm not reading this. You guys are tripping. Hello, you guys. Thank you for coming in. I was talking about it, but now we're bouncing. I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to talk a little bit about Donald Trump now and then, but I got to bounce it back to Diddy because that's how the live had started. The live started on Diddy, okay? And I got to respect the subscribers, okay? So please hit that like button. Please share this live. Please actually, subscribe. And yes, Iris says you will find the clip when you are ready. What? When they were all Democrats were dressed in white? Is this true? Somebody else, come on now. Are you serious, Iris? Are you serious? Now, I will say this when it comes down to Donald Trump. Okay, a lot of people are very, nervous to speak about Donald Trump after he has gotten elected. Okay, because oh Lord, now Bridget, you're a trip. Because I can't say it's true, but people are scared to say things about Donald Trump now. Why? Because some people saying it's coming with, kickbacks. Okay, kickbacks in the sense that you would end up losing your job, you would end up getting arrested, you would end up, because they do not want you to be anything affiliated with Donald Trump. But the news is, and the gag is, how can you wish that upon somebody when Donald Trump is, I'm just going to be honest, you guys, he did win the presidential election, and he is the 47th president, okay? But like I said, people have been hurt. Okay, as far as this all of this mess here in America has been going on. And Bolt says, isn't it wild how you get for supporting Trump the first go round? And Bolt, I'm glad that you said that. And guys, I'm not being funny when I say this. On my page, this is called Politic Graham. If you guys go to my last video, my last live that I did, I had to change the thumbnail. I'm not being funny when I say this. I had to change the thumbnail because the thumbnail that I initially had, it was more freedom of expression. It was not nothing. It was under YouTube guidelines, but I really believe it has something to do with Mr. Trump, Donald Trump. I'm not being funny because if you guys follow me on this page, I mean, I talk about Democrats, I talk about Republicans, I talk about independents, I talk about everything. But I'm not being funny when I say this. I really believe, you have to be very how you express when you talk about specifically, I'm not being funny, I'm being so honest, how you address certain things in politics and how you address certain things as far as here in America, period. Yes, this is a place to be a freedom of speech, but I am really questioning that right now. I really am. Why am I questioning this? I'm going to show you one of the results, okay, of somebody that worked for FEMA, okay? She ended up getting terminated, okay? And give me 1 minute. I'm going to show you. She ended up getting terminated because of what's been going on with this Trump mess. I'm so serious. Now, I want to state this with President Trump's 20 core promises. This is actually on his website. Okay, I want people to understand with his core promises, like it speaks of, if you can see this, defend our, sorry about that. It speaks of, I want to be honest, it speaks of defend our Constitution. I just want to highlight this, and I have to highlight this because I felt some type of way in the last live. I implore you guys to subscribe, to actually like this video, and go back to my last video, okay, when I talked about Donald Trump. And now I'm really trying to see if I should be careful even discussing these matters. But I want to show, according to Trump website, one of his 20 core promises as he will be president. He discusses defend our Constitution, our Bill of Rights, and our fundamental freedoms, including freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and the right to keep what? Okay, now I really have to highlight this. Okay, and thank you guys for coming in. Please hit that like button. I have to express this. I was so hurt. I'm so serious. I was hurt. I felt like I was just like, what do I do with this platform? Because I actually made this platform to actually speak about, politics, to actually speak about, people who feel like their voices are not heard in the world today. Okay, but what happened to me? I'm going to be honest. I'll talk about it even more in the next live, but the last live, if you guys look at my last live I spoke about what happened to Donald Trump. Okay, as far as, okay, how people tried to play a rabbit trick with him. And notice what I'm saying. I'm saying the phrase rabbit trick. Why? Because now I'm afraid to even say the word, the other word, as far as somebody trying to make somebody pass away. I have to say it that way. Why? Because when it comes down to, when you talk about this gentleman, okay, right here, okay, when you talk about this gentleman, it seems as if you would end up getting, quote unquote, watched on even more as your channel, as far as on, the people above, I'll say it that way, guidelines. And that's why I'm trying to be careful, because I had to change my thumbnail. I even had to change the description in my video. I'm not even joking, you guys, but I just want you guys to understand, in Trump's core promises, he did state, as far as moving forward, okay, he did state, defend our Constitution, our Bill of Rights, and our fundamental freedoms, including freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and the right to keep. And you can see the other part. And thank you guys for coming in. Please hit that like button. We got to talk. I'm so serious. If you really support politics, and you really support as far as speaking up and being a voice for people who are unheard voices, people who do not have a voice, if you feel like that and you support freedom of speech, okay, even if that, we can agree to disagree, but if you support freedom of speech, okay, and you do not mind having a topic about politics, okay, please hit that like button. Please, even if you want to support the channel, please donate if you would like, as far as a super sticker. Please, I implore you, because like I stated, I'm proof of how this affected me. I'm not even being funny. I'm so serious. And I don't want people to and American Trucker says, just let it go. What she trying to say? Now, I would say this. I want people to not be afraid to speak up and speak their voice. And I'm going to go back into the comments. I'm sorry. Thank you for coming in. Narendra says, I saw this just today. FEMA had set conditions how to help individuals in Florida who were inflicted by the hurricane. One of the conditions was not to help people who had Trump signs. I'm so happy that you brought that up, Narendra. Yes, in regards to that, that is how somebody was affected. A lady, she ended up getting terminated. Yes, she ended up getting terminated. And the lady that we're talking about is this lady right here. Now, if you guys have seen her in the news, her name is Marne, Washington. I want to make sure we all understand with her, she did not have any intentions, okay? She did not do nothing on purpose. She was just, quote unquote, according to her, following the guidelines under FEMA. I want to make sure we say that allegedly under FEMA, because what she stated, she said false things have been put out in the media, in the world. According to her, okay, she was told by FEMA, okay, to not go to homes, and I'm going to actually show it. She was told to not go to homes in Lakeland, Placid, Florida, that had yard signs supporting President elect Trump, okay? But that's just not it, because this is what the FEMA director, administrator, Deanne Criswell, if you can see this person, this is the statement that she put out. But we have to understand that is not all true. I want to make sure of that we understand this. That's just partial truth. Because according to Marne, Washington, this lady right here, she stated, and she's only been working for FEMA since 2019, and she says that is part of the protocol. She was told by another person, I'm going to scroll down. She was told by another supervisor that if anybody in her group, okay, when they actually visited Lake Placid, Florida, if anybody felt like they were being harmed, or if or a street there was danger, then just to avoid it altogether, okay, for the safety. Because she said in regards to her, okay, as well as FEMA workers, I want to make sure we state this. She says FEMA does not provide security for FEMA workers. Anytime they go in the field during these hurricane disasters such as Hurricane Helen, Hurricane Milton, if you guys have seen what here in America has went through, okay, recently, okay, especially in Florida, okay, she stated that from what her understanding was, okay, she said that if her crew felt like there was any harm or they didn't feel safe, she was told to just avoid that particular home, okay? And she said, and I want to make sure, hello, you guys, hit that like button. This is Politic Graham. Pemer says, you are forgetting about police increase of qualified immunity. Black people should quit driving. Oh, my goodness. Hello, you guys. This is Politic Graham. I'm going to just read some of these comments. Northern says, reaching folks should research more. Yes, please, please. Yes, like I stated, what's going on with this lady right here? She is the FEMA worker that had been terminated, right? Now, how did this affect her? Not only was she just quote unquote terminated by FEMA, William says FEMA cannot discriminate on who they help. Yes, you're absolutely right, William. They cannot discriminate on who they help. But I also want people to understand this, okay? You cannot fire you're not supposed to just terminate somebody based off the instructions that you gave them. That's what happened to Miss Marne in Washington. Okay, from an interview that she recently did, she stated how she was terminated based off of FEMA was getting a bad name. And she said FEMA got a bad name in the sense that because she informed some workers not to go to these homes because other workers did not feel safe, okay, in the group that she was over in Florida when they actually visited these damaged homes. She said that these third-party contractors, that's what she stated, these third-party contractors that were part of the group, and she says they were mostly TSA workers. She says because they did not like the instructions that she was given, that she had been told to do. She says some of them actually went to social media, and showed pictures. That's when you start seeing things in text messages where she says they just showed a little bit. They didn't show the whole thing because they didn't like her giving instructions. That was her response. Now, I will say this, and you guys know this. If anybody knows about, when it comes down to here as far as politics goes, and yes, this is a land of freedom. This is a democracy. Yes, I love where I live because this is where I was born, right? I can't take that away. Who am I to say? But I will say this, like any place in the world, America does have issues as far as how things are being ran. Okay, that's just like with any job. King says, no way, how that happened. I thought they were tolerant. Jojo says, cap, Bill. We have the right to say what we feel, and I feel that will never end until, yes, I agree. Carla says they are not supposed to, but when she's sending it in a text, show to me how commonplace it is for FEMA to do this. Thank you. And see, I'm glad, Carla, you're not you actually understood. I'm trying to deliver this information, and thank you. I like what you just said. I'm going to repeat what Carla Hoskins said. She says they're not supposed to, but when she's sending it in text and writing, shows to me how commonplace it is for FEMA. Now, I want people to understand this. The person that I have highlighted right here, the FEMA administrator, Deanne Criswell, right? She was actually appointed by whom? She was appointed by your current administration, Joe Biden, right? Now, my thing is this. Why would you terminate this lady right here when she's just doing her job, and she's been doing it ever since 2019? Okay, she's been doing this from my records, okay, longer than this person right here has even been in the position as a FEMA administrator. I'm just being honest, okay? Now, as far as how all of this is going on, I don't think you guys understand. And I would like for people to please, I want to make sure this is Politigram. Please understand, for YouTube purposes, I have to actually state that this is Politigram. I'm sorry, I was trying to actually, I don't have it up. Do I have it up? This is Politigram. Thank you for coming in. I'm just talking about this for safety, for clarity, for YouTube guidelines. And I thought I had put it up. One moment, you guys. I thought I had put it up. But like I said, in regards to this lady, she has went through a lot because she has been terminated under FEMA, as well as those text messages has been leaked out, okay, that she was, sending out to the people when she was in Florida, okay, doing her job. Not only did she lose her job with FEMA, I cannot make this up, ladies and gentlemen, she lost her main job, okay, outside of FEMA, okay. And now, and thank you for coming in. This is Politigram for YouTube purposes. But I want to actually let people know she lost her main job. As you can see, that I apologize for the typos. She was terminated from her main job as a regional manager, as property management under a company known as Avonot. Okay, and this was so interesting, ladies and gentlemen, because she was informed by both FEMA as well as Avonot. She was informed by email. You cannot make this up. She was terminated via email. Okay, you can't make this up. And with her main job, where she was in the regional management, as dealing with property management, they informed her saying that she was terminated effective by November the 15th. So technically, she will not officially be terminated all the way until tomorrow. It's that serious. And in the email, I'm trying to decide if I can show the email, because this was an interview that she did, and I don't want to steal anybody's stuff, quote unquote. But in the email, she showed how that she received an email stating that she would be terminated effectively by tomorrow. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, November the 15th. Larry says, what was her salary? Larry, I cannot, Larry. That is what's making me so I had to talk about it. This lady right here, let's just say it was in the six figures. Okay, I'm being so honest. Let's just put it in. Let's put it like that. Okay, because I don't want to put anybody's business out there. So we're talking about somebody going from six figures to nothing. Do you hear me? She has nothing. And as a matter of fact, because of all of this that's been going on, okay, these false claims about her, and I want to make sure I put that out there. She is currently in hiding, okay? She says she has been harassed. She says that people are sending pizza boxes and deliveries at multiple different addresses, are doing research on her and her family and different family members, and they're trying to get a direct location of where she lives and resides. And then she's getting phone calls. Yes, she says she's getting emails. People are, it's just disgusting. I can't even repeat. I'll just say, just take what I'm saying, okay? It's to the point where she, in one email, someone said they want to give her a proper meet with the light. I'll say it that way, okay? A meet with the light, okay? They want to make sure she just quote unquote goes away and don't come back. Hello, you guys. Thanks for coming in. Jacker says, are you Democrat or Republican? I'm glad that you asked that, Jackers, and thank you for coming in. A part of this platform, I welcome all parties, all genders, all nationalities, and everybody from around the world. This is a platform that welcomes everybody. So to answer your question, I cannot say, especially if you live here in America, whether I'm quote unquote just a Democrat or just a Republican. That would not be fair to this platform, and nor that will that be fair to myself. And Jackers, if you live here in America and you know the things that have been going on here in America, I think you should be able to answer that yourself, considering what's been going on here in America. And I love America, okay? I do. But it wouldn't be fair for me to just put myself in a box and say, oh, well, I'm this, I'm that, when my platform is Politigram. And thank you guys for coming in. I'm going to continue. Max says, when you're at work, do your job and keep your opinions to yourself. What? What are you talking about, Max? Max, what are you talking about? Hello, you guys. This is Politigram. Joseph says she admitted to her wrongdoing. Now, Joseph, I will be honest. When it comes down to Miss Washington, the lady that we're talking about in this picture right here, who is the FEMA worker that was terminated, I feel, I could be wrong. I think Miss Washington was doing too much. When I say doing too much, she already had a nice job as working in regional, okay, with another company, right? She already had a nice job. But she wanted to do more. She did more by inviting herself and working under FEMA, okay? And anybody knows when you work under the government, things are supposed to be done a certain way per se. You are boxing yourself in. You're placing yourself in a box, okay? And one person, I mean, we can use Joe Biden as a prime example. I'm being honest, okay? You put yourself in a box when you're working, in the government, or you're working dealing with politics. You put yourself in a box. And with Joe Biden, I'm going to be very, very blunt. I feel he placed himself in a box when he actually appointed Kamala Harris to be vice president, and he didn't really per se was on the same. He didn't agree with her when they were running for president. If anybody can remember when Kamala Harris was running for president back in 2020, okay, she put out there, she questioned Joe Biden, okay, back when he was in a congressman, okay, she questioned whether he actually supported segregation, okay? She questioned a lot of things about his past, insinuating that, he supported certain things, which was not true. And because of that, I feel Joe Biden was cornered to actually appoint her as vice president, okay? And now, even going forward, I feel Joe Biden was even pressured to step down, and not only just step down. I'm not gonna disagree with that part, but I disagree with the part that you step down. You don't allow Americans to have a right to vote, to have a quote unquote right to vote. You do not allow people to actually. Graham, I was hooked on reading the comments. Now, I will say this. This is disgusting, and this woman is a patriot of this country. It's who is? What are you talking about, Wanda? Oh my God! Let me finish what I was saying. I have to stop reading the comments. Let me continue to say what I was about to say. Now, I will say this. When it comes down to Joe Biden, I feel like he was put in a corner with even not only stepping down, but specifically appointing Kamala Harris, okay? He had to appoint her, okay? But he did not give the Americans the right to vote, okay? Who should take the place? Kuza says, it's disgusting she behaved this way. Okay, now who are you guys talking about? Are you talking about this lady right here? Are you guys talking about her? Because to me personally, I don't think she did anything wrong. I mean, what did she do? She did what this lady said. That I have highlighted. Okay, this lady is the FEMA administrator. Okay, the lady that was terminated. Okay, she actually did an interview. She did an interview. She showed the text messages, you guys. She showed the text messages where she was actually told, okay, if you see danger or harm on any street, please tell your team to avoid certain homes. Now, she did state that it may have been quote unquote at least 20 homes, but she showed proof where her and her team had went to hundreds, okay, a number over 100 of homes, okay, and registered them to get assistance. So now I will say this with Miss Washington. I do feel that, I mean, the way things have been going on with her, not only was she terminated because of false narratives was released, okay, in the media, okay, she lost her main job, and then in addition to losing her main job, she does not no longer feel safe to even be at her place of residence, or even be at any of the places that are considered, under her name that she owns, because she says people have actually went onto her accounts, found out where found out where family members of hers lives, and phone numbers, emails, and she said FEMA did not try to protect her, okay? And thank you guys for coming in. Please hit that like button. Yes, we are talking about politics. I went to Diddy first, but then somebody said I should talk about politics. Please hit that like button. And yes, we are talking about first this lady that was terminated by FEMA. Okay, and the lady that we're talking about, her name is Marne Washington. Okay, and this picture that you're looking at, this is one of the pictures that was in Florida. Somebody had put out and tried to make it seem like if you see a Trump sign, if you see anything like that, avoid the house. But according to her, that was not true. According to her, she said, and I'm going to stroll down as far as what she stated. Okay, and the reason I'm also showing this picture, this is also of her. This is from her Facebook account. People have been bothering her. People have been really, it's really crazy. Wanda says it was wrong they terminated her. Yes, Wanda, I'm so glad you are seeing what I'm saying, because I cannot understand why someone can be put in this situation when all they were doing was their job. And that's one thing I talked about with someone that follows me when it came down to having a job, right? When you have a job, I tell this to anybody, and anybody, you tell me if you agree or you disagree. When you have a job, okay, and you're working for somebody, under somebody, to the point where they are the ones that give you a schedule of when to come in, when to have your lunch, and when to, leave, okay? You are being quote unquote micromanaged. You are being quote unquote told what to do, right? And in some states, when you're working for somebody, including the state that I live in, Georgia, this is an at will to work state, meaning you can be terminated for any reason. You can be terminated just because, okay? So when you're living, or when you're in a world such as that, you always have to cover yourself, right? But sometimes you can just be put in a situation that you don't even have any control of. And that is what happened to Miss Washington. Okay, she had worked for FEMA ever since 2019. I presume she thought, I don't know, I mean, that comes with the experience. She thought that she could go into these areas like she did in 2019. But if anybody knows what happened during the year of 2019 around this pandemic time, things have changed from 2019 to 2024. A lot of things have changed. So when you go into a situation now, of course you're going to meet people, right? And according to Miss Washington, I'm going to read the comments. Thank you guys for coming in. Okay, let me go back up. I'm trying to be respectful. Carla says the suffering of people who lost everything in their American rights just because of supporting Trump is disgusting. And see, this is what I'm talking about, Carla. Like, I mean, I have to be careful even with what I say on my platform, because I was affected, and anybody can go back to my last live. I had to change my thumbnail. I'm not even being funny. I had to change my thumbnail. I had to change my description, and I will be doing a video under my membership explaining everything from detail to detail and how it connects with, what you say, especially when you mention Donald Trump. But as far as this politics and my platform Graham, I'm going to be very faithful with using my right as far as freedom of speech and also respecting, and I want to make sure I say this, and I'm going to highlight this part. I want to make sure that I respect YouTube guidelines, but one thing I'm not going to do, I'm not going to just be closed mouth, okay? Because you can express your feelings, your passion, and also respect YouTube's guidelines, okay? You can respect YouTube's guidelines. And I want people to understand that when you live in a place where you have rules, okay? You have rules. You have to oblige by those quote unquote rules. But we do have a thing called freedom of speech, freedom of, freedom of expression. We do have that under the Constitution. And so that, for me, that's why I made this platform Graham, for people such as myself, such as you guys, even for this lady right here who was wrongfully terminated. I feel, okay, I personally, my opinion, allegedly, I feel that this lady, Miss Washington, she was wrongfully terminated by FEMA, okay, because she's just doing her job. She was doing what she was told by this person right here, the FEMA administrator, Deanne Criswell, as well as, I want to scroll down, she was also told and followed instructions by other supervisors, okay, above her, okay, because in her position, she was just a lead. So like I stated, I was affected, okay. I'm still going to move forward with my platform. I'm still going. This is Graham, and thank you guys for coming in. But I can't just keep my mouth just closed when I see things, and I want to be able to express myself, worldwide, and and let people know here in America that this is not just a place where we're working like robots. I love America based off the fact of its constitutional rights. Does that make sense? Off of the amendments. And I want people to understand, you as a person, if you know how to move right and how to talk and how to move, okay, you can actually get a lot of things done. Now with Miss Washington, I have no idea. I mean, I don't know what to say for Miss Washington. This lady who was terminated by FEMA, I will say with her, she was just, I don't know. I mean, because with her, I'm going to break it down. Okay, with her, she stated her files were being deleted right after she got terminated. I just want you guys to think about this. She said, even though she was terminated, she still had access. Why? Because according to the email that she had, I mean, she was terminated, but she said she still had access to the files. That's when she noticed things were being deleted. Okay. She stated her files were being deleted that proved that she was being, quote unquote, in her words, not mine, framed. She says FEMA fears retribution. And she also stated, in regards to that word retribution, she did state how she felt that FEMA needs to change. It needs to actually change as a whole. Okay. And she also says, in response to the report that's been leaked out, okay, if you guys been seeing these pictures of text messages where she's saying, avoid the homes with Trump signs and all of that. She said, in response to that, of at least 20 homes, it didn't do this or didn't do that. She stated that those are false narratives. She said that according to the rules, this was what she said, according to the rules, that she was told if a house has painted purple rocks, okay, the paint of purple, yes, this is what she said, if the house has anything that's painted purple, the rocks are painted purple, anything as far as purple signs, that is a sign to what? Stay away. Okay. And she said with a lot of these homes, okay, she said they had the color purple on it. And if you even step on property has the color purple on it, you can get injured. I'll say it that way, because you, according to what she stated now, okay, she says that is when the owners of these homes have the right to protect, okay, using bare arms. Okay, so I just want people to understand, don't fall all into the false narrative of what is being put out there, okay? Because what Miss Washington stated, the lady that was terminated by FEMA, she said that it was not true, okay? Now, what I'm showing you right here, I apologize for my typo. I was hurrying up really fast. I really was hurrying up. But she said that the pictures that was leaked out, it was released by the people from a third party that was hired under the surge capacity team, which are workers that work as TSA workers, okay? So she said because they did not like to be told what to do or given instructions, okay, somebody from that particular third party leaked out, quote unquote, they leaked out things. And that is when you start to see the text messages that was leaked out. And that is when you start to see a quote unquote report stating that a FEMA worker told people to avoid and did not go to 20 homes. She says that is when you start to see that, but you did not see the whole thing. Okay. And she also said that she was sent information. She was actually sent information, telling her that, while they was on their mission in Florida to reach out to these homes to have them registered, she stated how, people, part of her team was sending her calls, text messages saying how people were very upset with FEMA. Okay. People were very upset in the fact that they felt that FEMA was not coming to them in the nick of time. And some people, when they saw FEMA workers, they would just, verbally, physically harm them or try to harm them out of the frustration of how they felt FEMA was being very slow with how they were doing things. So she stated because of all this, she started getting feedback from her group that while they was down there in Florida. And that's when she reached out to people above her who then instructed to her, okay, do not go to those homes, do not go on that street if you feel like you're being harmed or anybody in your group has been harmed. Okay, this is what she stated. And I'm going to go back into the comments, and thank you guys for coming in. Wanda says it was wrong, they terminated her. Carla says she chose not to be the whistleblower and say what was morally wrong with what she was doing. And see, that's why I feel, and I'm going to go, the person that we're talking about, thank you guys. I feel with Miss Washington, that's why I said I feel like she was doing too much. Because if she knew, there was loopholes with FEMA, with how they had things running and going on, why would you still, put yourself in a, bind? Because now what Miss Washington is saying, she's saying FEMA, to cover themselves up, they terminated her. To cover what was allegedly, as far as the procedures that they have, they terminated her. Because she has proof showing how, the policies. Max says, and that's why they fired her. She should have stood up for what is right. And Max, yes, I agree. I agree with that. That's why I say, but you have to understand, a lot is easier said than done, right? That's why I said this goes for any job that you work at. If my ideology is, if you're working for anybody, even if it's a minimum wage job, even if it is a multi-million-dollar job salary, okay, if you're working for somebody, you're still, putting yourself in a bind to get what? Terminated, okay, or what? Get laid off. I'm just going to be very blunt, be very, very honest. Cam says, that's life. It sucks most of the time in the work life. Exactly. Yes, Iris says she had 5 years to know the inside workings of FEMA. Where Iris, if she had, okay, what people don't understand, okay, you say she had 5 years, but things change because even right now, I want people to understand this lady right here that I have highlighted, this lady right here, she has not been working for FEMA as long as this lady. Okay. And I want to state that because when you have different people coming in as far as leadership goes, things can change. Okay. Things can really, really change. And thank you for coming in. Jason says, FEMA is cooked. Jason, and see, that is why I'm wondering what's to come moving forward when Donald Trump officially takes his position as president, because I showed as far as the new rules, okay? Those new rules that Donald Trump has coming in, okay? He has it on his website, those quote-unquote core values. I want people to understand that. I want to show those quote-unquote core values. Now, see, President Trump, he has 20 core promises. Anybody, if you don't believe me, you can look it up on his website. Now, it's a lot going on with these quote-unquote core values that I'm, really, really wondering, will it be done? Will it be done? Because if you can see, the number one that he has as his core value is seal the border and stop migrant invasion, right? Okay, now why am I stating this? Because if we look at the people that he's already implementing into his administration, and I'm going to do another video on that, but there is one specific gentleman. And thank you, Narendra, for handling business. Thank you so much. Please be respectful in the chat. This is a platform we can all respect, disagree or agree. Please respect the chat. Please respect the page and hit that like button. But like I stated, when it comes down to Donald Trump's core values, I'm wondering, will he be able to achieve these goals? And because people have to understand, when it comes down to sealing the border and stopping the migrant invasion, that's a lot. That is going to be a lot of money. And I say that because we have to understand, during the Biden administration, over 6 million illegal immigrants have crossed over already. So according to Biden, there is supposed to be a massive deportation. Okay. But the thing is, how is all this going to be done as far as what some people would say humanly, okay? Because, once you come over here in America, a lot of people don't want to go back. A lot of people don't want to go back, quote unquote, to where they come from or whatnot. This is a nice place. It's a nice place. Now, I don't know how he's going to have that done per se, but with these core values, we're going to break it down, okay? The first one, like I said, is seal the border and stop the migrant invasion. Now, a lot of people have been scared with that one core value, right? Because of that one core value, things have already been in the works in changing. And one specific place that has changed, okay, and Donald Trump has not even got into office just yet, okay, and people are already scared. People are already scared. And the first person that is already scared, and give me one moment, I'm sorry, I want to show it to you guys. The first person that is already scared is in New York, okay? Yes, in quote-unquote New York. Mayor Eric Adams. I want to be able to show him. I'm trying to find him for you guys. I apologize for me not being more organized, but Mayor Eric Adams, he has already stated they are going to stop the funding in regards to the illegal immigrants that they had been providing, okay, as part of the sanctuary city, okay, New York, or sanctuary state. And he said they have to stop because they are becoming broke. Okay. because in New York, and I want to actually show it to you guys if I can find it. In New York, they are already, if you have, based off what I looked up, if you have 2 children, if you're a family of 2 children and you're an illegal, undocumented immigrant, they were actually providing them, the family, $750 a week. Okay, just in a week, $750 a week. And according to Eric Adams and his team, they were actually, losing money. And there's, still, and he said the federal, they are not receiving funds for the from the federal government, okay, to continue to provide for, the undocumented immigrants. Okay, so they had to, in his words, and I'm trying to actually show, because I had did a long research with him, but he said because of that, they had to discontinue the funds. They had to discontinue it. I'm trying to actually find it for you guys. Give me one moment. They had to discontinue the fundings for him, and he's now requesting for more federal funds to support New York providing the assistance to the illegal immigrants. Okay, now I say this to say, with Eric Adams, some people are speculating that he might be afraid himself. Okay, because if anybody here knows what has been going on with Eric Adams, and give me one moment, I'm looking for my actual the research that I have done with Mr. Eric Adams. When it comes down to him, he himself is in legal matters. Okay, he is in some legal matters himself. So some people are speculating maybe that's why, he is, ending or requesting to end. Okay, right here. Okay, he made a press conference last week. Was it this? I think, yes, last week. And he said the city will still remain sanctuary for non-documented and documented immigrants. And he stated that the city will still support women's rights on reproductive and women health care that includes, AKA, making a baby disappear. He also said that the city will also still remain supporting the LGBTQIA plus community. Now, he did this once Donald Trump, became, or should I say, won presidency. Okay. Now, when it comes down to Eric Adams, now I will say with him, people are speculating that he is trying to cover himself of what's to come for him. Why? Because with him, he's going through some legal matters. And it's kind of ironic that he holds he's held a number of press conferences since Donald Trump has, he's 37th president, right? Because he's one of those sanctuary cities, the city that he's the mayor of, okay? He has already, said that he spoke to Donald Trump personally. He's already reached out. He even had a press conference, like I stated. He said in his press conference when he made his address, Kevin says, look up purple paint laws. Thank you for coming in, Kevin. I'm sorry. Now, that's what I wanted to I'll talk about that in a minute. I'm going to make note of what you just said, Kevin. I'm sorry. As far as the purple paint laws under FEMA, and people need to understand that, things are changing, and things change very fast here in America when it comes down to, policies and laws and things of that nature. And even as a prime example, as far as how things change and, people are not, quote unquote, going off what the law, quote unquote, says, because Donald Trump, I want people to understand, Donald Trump is coming in. Okay, and he is already implementing a lot of changes, and people in the country of America, they are already, getting, their self together. And one of the places that are getting themselves together is in New York. Okay, Eric Adams, the person that I'm talking about, is this gentleman right here, Eric Adams. He's getting himself, together. Okay, so much together. He had to do a public press conference to let people know that he has already spoken to Donald Trump, and that he wants to actually have make sure undocumented immigrants are still going to be treated with humanity, right? And in his press conference, he did state that the city will still remain sanctuary, right? Because there are some cities in America that are sanctuary and non-sanctuary. Sanctuary meaning that they do not have a problem with, assisting the needs of undocumented immigrants. Those are sanctuary cities. And then you have the other cities that are, non-sanctuary. And with some of these cities, okay, and one of these cities you have, okay, Florida, Governor DeSantis, in this particular picture, he actually signing an actual bill, basically saying that it's non-sanctuary, okay? And as you can see, I do have a list of some of these states that are non-sanctuary: Texas, Tennessee, North Carolina, South Carolina. Shouts out to North Carolina, South Carolina for the hurricane, the victims. My prayers goes out. Missouri, Mississippi, Iowa, the state that I live in, Georgia, Arkansas, Arizona, Alabama, and Florida. These are non-sanctuary states, okay? And then you also have these non-sanctuary states, okay? I just want to just be honest. You have these places, and when it comes down to the sanctuary states and the city that the Mayor Eric Adams is in, New York, it is sanctuary. But like I stated, when it comes down to what Donald Trump is not playing any games, I'm telling you now, Trump is not playing. He is really, based off of the people that he has already implemented into his administration, as already, if you guys already know, he's not playing no games, and he's not cutting any corners. And just people are scared. Now back to Eric Adams, and thank you guys for coming in. Back to Eric Adams. He did a press conference recently, basically letting people know we still support women's rights on reproductive, and as well as women's health care. He stated that New York City is still going to remain sanctuary for non-documented and documented immigrants. He also stated that they are going to continue to support the LGBTQIA plus community. And I want to highlight that, okay? Why did he state that? Because a part of Donald Trump's core values, okay, and you guys can look this up on the Trump's website, President Trump 20 core promises. I want people to understand this, okay? That's one of his core values when it comes down to the LGBTQIA plus community. I want to make sure, where is it? Because it's 20 of them. It is a long list. It's a long list. Now, number 17. Look what it says. It says, keep men out of women's sports. Okay? This is why Eric Adams had to do a whole press conference and say, we support the LGBTQIA plus community. Okay? Don't be mad at me, you guys. That's what he said. He basically saying in his press conferences. Why? Because of one of the 20 core values of Donald Trump. You see what I have highlighted. It says, keep men out of women's sports. Right? Then I'm going to even show another one. He did speak about in another one of his core values, even with the education. Okay, teachers are very upset and very nervous about Donald Trump. Why? Because he was planning to, and I want to be sure I'm careful with my words because I don't want anybody to say I don't know what I'm talking about. In his rules, let me make sure. I may have to do a whole nother live on that one, but in his rules, I will say this. Yes, here we go. In his rules, you guys can look it up. He did specify when it came down to the education. And I want to actually see if I can find it for you guys because it's on his website. Give me one moment. because I want to actually show it. I want you guys to see what I'm talking about. I want you guys to actually see what I'm talking about. Give me one moment. I want you guys to see what I am talking about when it comes down to Donald Trump's core values. One moment, you guys. But a lot of teachers, I'll say this, a lot of teachers are very, very scared because he plans on cutting education funding. I'm trying to see if it's in here, but I think it's on his website. But I basically read, I'll show it to you guys at another time. I'm just going to tell you. He basically is planning on cutting the educational funding for schools of K through 12. Any schools that try to implement and say, you know, try to teach people to do things that are outside of what they're supposed to be doing. One of them in the sense that, okay, you know, as far as pertaining to LGBTQI plus community, things that are such as quote unquote racial profiling, in his opinion, when it comes down to, even with the HBCU, I can use it as an example. It's not me. Don't get mad at me. I'm just stating, okay, based off of his plans, okay? When it comes down, he's going to cut anything that is going to not help people unite and keep people separated, in the sense of, okay, as far as even with the education, separating, okay, schools as far as racial, as far as like, okay, oh, HBCU, the blacks over here, historical black colleges and this and that. But my personal opinion on it is this. When it comes down to that, I feel that when it comes down to historical black colleges, people have to understand the reason historical black colleges were founded was because blacks were not being provided education and treated fairly when they tried to apply for other colleges. And that's how HBCUs were. That was the reason it was founded. But see, the question is, what's to come when the Trump administration comes in? Does that make sense? What's to actually come? And I want to actually show it to you guys. I'm trying to see if it's in here, because with the core values, the 20 core values that Donald Trump talks about, he talks about, okay, sealing the border. I highlighted that. Defending our Constitution, our Bill of Rights, and our fundamental freedoms, including freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and the right to bear arms. And I want to go, I thought I had it. I apologize, you guys. But, oh, and then this one, keep men out of women's sports. And it was another one. It was another one, especially with the education. Give me one moment, because I want to actually show it to you guys. I'm trying to see where it is, though, because I actually did my research in regards to showing it. I highlighted it. It was a huge. Donald Trump is breaking things down. He is really, really breaking things down all the way. Okay. And give me one moment. I apologize. Thank you guys for coming in. Please hit that like button. Please subscribe. I'm trying to find where I have it at. Give me one moment, you guys. I'm trying to actually find where I highlighted it. One moment, you guys. But yes, like I had stated, when it comes down to Donald Trump, he is really making people, you know, a little scared, okay? A little scared, because things are changing, and things are changing very, very fast. And this gentleman right here, he's all smiles, okay? Rudy Giuliani is all smiles because he's praying that he doesn't have to relinquish his cash and possessions by tomorrow. Yes, by tomorrow, okay, the 15th, to the two former election workers, a mother and mom in the state of Georgia, who filed defamation lawsuit against him, where they actually won over $148 million defamation lawsuit against whom? Rudy Giuliani. Now, Rudy Giuliani is all smiles because, you know, people are questioning, will he get, quote unquote, will it go away once Donald Trump becomes president? Okay, will it all go away, as they say? Why are they stating this? Because in regards to Donald Trump, Rudy Giuliani, he actually represented Donald Trump, okay, doing all of this, quote unquote, in their words, not mine, election fraud. And it's in the documents, alleged documents, that Donald Trump still owes Rudy Giuliani $2 million. And thank you guys for coming in. I'm still trying to find it. I had highlighted it. Oh boy, here it is. I knew I would find it. I think this is it. No, this is not it. But okay, I tried. Now, back to Donald Trump's core values. I would have to do another live as far as the education goes, because I thought I had it. I'm trying to find it for you guys. I'm trying. I got so excited. I was like, yes, I want to find it. I want this. I want to talk about this. I want to talk about that. Now, I will say, with Donald Trump's core values, a lot of people are very nervous. A lot of people, especially with the LGBTQIA plus community, because as you can see, what I have highlighted, the number 17 core value is to keep men out of women's sports. Okay. And even when it comes down to, it's just a bad habit that I have. I'm gonna do, you know what? One thing about me, I say this. Sometimes you can be so much of, you want things to be right, you can end up hurting yourself. And I thought I had it organized a certain way where I was going to talk about the education, Donald Trump, his planning on that. I'll do another live when it comes down with the education part, because a lot of teachers are very upset since Donald Trump has became president. He's won it. Okay, he's the 47th president. So much that a teacher ended up taking his frustrations out on an actual student. Yes, you heard me right. So much a teacher took their frustration out on an actual student. And yes, and trying to see, where did I have it? I think I found it. Hold on, you guys. I'm still trying to get it, because that's why I wanted to talk about this. Should politics be discussed in high school? And thank you guys for coming in. I'm sorry, I'm going back to the comments now. It's a lot. I apologize. Is she writing a book using using material? No. This is actual stuff that I actually researched to answer your question. But the question I wanted to ask you guys, should politics be discussed in high school? And the reason I asked that is because recently a teacher actually had to be put on administrative leave. Why? Because they were very upset with a student walking into class with a Make America Great Again cap on. They were very, very upset. Dougie says, use your magnifying glass. And Steve says, get political out of schools. You're supposed to be teaching reading, writing, and arithmetic. And see, that is one of the things that Donald Trump, I'm going to do another live about it, because that's one of the things with Donald Trump. He wants people to focus, back to just like who said it? Someone said it. Steve, thank you for coming in. Steve Vent said, I'm going to highlight what you said, Steve. Steve Vent said, get politics. I can't say that part out of schools. Should focus on arithmetic and writing, reading and writing. Now, that is one of the things that Donald Trump is, he wants the focal point to be on that. He wants the focal point to be where, back in the times where, people actually prayed, and, prayed as far as, praying, before class and during, didn't have to worry about having any fear, okay, with religion. And then in addition to that, not feeling uncomfortable if somebody who walks into the women's restroom, and it might be a member of the LGBTQIA plus community that was not biologically born a woman. Does that make sense? These are the things that Donald Trump is it going to try to implement once he becomes president. Now, should politics be discussed in high school? This has caused a teacher to be put on administrative leave, and another teacher to be put. It's two teachers, okay? And I'm just going to read what was recorded, okay? A student actually recorded what this teacher said when they saw this student in the classroom with a "Make America Great" cap on. They was like so upset. They're yelling. They said, "I am so sorry, you guys. You deserve better. Look at me. You deserve better." The teacher, this is what the teacher can be heard saying. "I know a lot of Latino men on this campus, adults and students, that love Donald Trump. And he's called their mother's grape." Okay, grape. I have to say it that way. He's called their father's grape. He's called them criminals. He's called them the to the world. Now, now he is stating this, you guys. He's stating this while he is in class. This is in a high school class, this particular teacher. And I tried to actually look him up. I think they have his name in hiding, for safety reasons, because people are very upset, with the fact, just like what Steve said, keep politics out of schools, right? People are very upset with how this teacher, and he wasn't the only teacher. Like I said, it's two teachers out west that have been put on administrative leave. Why? Because this is one of the effects of how people are so upset with the fact of how the election, ended. I said that way with Kamala Harris not winning. Okay. So many people are very upset and very frustrated. President Chiden says, "No, it shouldn't. Keep your opinions to yourself. It's a school, not a street corner." Whoa, you guys are really coming in. Thank you for your opinion. I respect it. A says, "Of course, politics should be talked about in high school. Teachers shouldn't give their opinions." Exactly. Teachers shouldn't give their opinions. And I completely agree. Not to the point where you're verbally attacking students now, and you're scaring students so much to the point a student actually recorded this, you guys, recorded this whole thing going on. Grayson, thank you for coming in. Grayson says politics should be taught in high school unequivocally. Doogie says, "Teach them the structure of the constitutional republic, but who we vote for is supposed to be kept private." Exactly. And see, I want to make sure I highlight what Dougie says, because I think that's where these two teachers, they dropped the ball. Because you're so upset that a student is walking in wearing a Trump hat, okay? Ridiculous. You're so upset that you put your opinions to these students, and you're yelling, and you're saying things that are just making people uncomfortable. Okay, so much to the point you're putting yourself in a bad situation. Now, what was the reaction to this teacher being put on administrative leave? Okay, because he was put on administrative leave to this. Students started an actual petition. I cannot make this up, ladies and gentlemen. They started an actual petition asking that he's allowed to come back, okay, to the school and to class. And I'm not sure if they moved forward. The students did make an initiative to actually start a student walkout because they were in disagreement of this particular teacher being put on administrative leave because of his actions. And thank you guys for coming in. Please hit that like button. Yes, we are talking about politics. I was going to talk about Diddy, but someone told me to talk about politics, and anybody who knows how I am, I love talking about politics. It's a bad habit. I love talking about it. You says it's pretty much impossible to teach history without discussing politics. It is. And see, that's what is really making me wonder what's to come moving forward when Donald Trump's administration fully comes in after in January, okay? Because it's some things that Donald Trump is implementing or wishing to implement as far as the administration goes pertaining to education that I'm trying to see how will it be good? Will it be bad, to, the country as a whole when it comes down to education? Narendra says, at Legendary, each election cycle, people will leave the country. Nathan says, politics shouldn't be in high school unless it's a political class. Thank you, Nathan. I can respect that. That's going to be pinned. And did I pin you, your mom? I pin what you said first. Also, hello, Kenneth. Kenneth says, then he appoints I can't say that, Kenneth. And thank you guys for coming in. Jacqueline says, you need help. Thank you so much, Jacqueline, for coming in. It's a lot going on, Jacqueline. I'm trying to read the comments, and then I'm trying to read what I have going on, and I'm doing this by myself. Doogie says, and let me continue to go down. Doogie says, you teach our governmental structure, checks and balances, the branches of government, etc. But how you vote has always been kept private out of respect for one another. Social media got all y'all talking too much. And see, for me, I would say this in regards to me, Dougie. That's why I don't answer when somebody asks me, well, are you Democrat? Or are you Republican? Are you this? Are you that? Me, that might be on some other people's platforms, that's fine. But for me, I want the focal point to be on what are the policies that you stand for. What are the policies that you support? And that is the reason for me personally, I don't answer questions like that. My answer to that, and I want to make sure I notate that, my answer, if anybody asks me what party I am, I support all parties, all cultures, all genders, all nationalities. Why? Because this is the page called Politigram where we welcome all. So I don't want to put myself in a specific category, if that makes sense. I don't want to put myself in a quote unquote category. Nathan says, where in the US is a 17-year-old considered a child? Exactly. Now, I will say this, Nathan. In some countries, I don't want to call nobody out. I'm not going to call nobody out. But it is some countries where, people are actually, they can date people, around 17. And they are older than 17. They're old enough to be their parent. Okay. Now, I ain't going to get into it because, that's why I said, cultures are different. Here in America, things are a little bit more, constrained. I'll say it that way. Like you might get arrested if you're dealing with somebody that's a certain age. And I'll just leave it that way. Lee says, he told the kids Trump would grape his kids and called security to. Are you serious? Wait a minute. Are you talking about this particular teacher that I'm talking about that was put on administrative leave in Moreno Valley High School? Wow. See, this is why people have to understand when it comes down to, how you feel as far as politics goes, there's a time and place for everything. But expressing yourself on that note in a place where you are a high school teacher, that is very unacceptable. That's just how I feel, But the question, like I said, should politics be discussed in high school? Ryan says, why take it out of the school? That's our laws and history. Yes, you're absolutely right, because according to, and I'm going to use Donald Trump's words, not mine. I'm going to bring it back to what he said. According to what Donald Trump said, according to his rules, he did say, defend our Constitution, our Bill of Rights, and our fundamental freedoms, including freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and the right to keep and bear arms. Now, with Donald Trump, that can be either or, because the LGBTQIA plus community could say, well, that's part of our freedom of speech. That's part of our freedom, okay? They could use that against him, because with Donald Trump, as part of his 20 core values, he wants to keep men out of women's sports. Now, I want to say this, here in Georgia, here in the state of Georgia, especially at Georgia State University, I'm going to tell you a quick little story. And this is why I think Donald Trump is trying to really come for the education, okay, to really make a statement, because he feel like people are being put in a compromising position. I'll say it that way. And there's no freedom when it comes down to kids and teenagers. And, you know, it's like, if you live in America, you know what's been going on. We've had a lot of issues going on, you know, different mass incidents, okay, where children are, you know, getting harmed, and teachers don't feel safe to even work at their public schools, okay. Here in Georgia, I mean, recently there was a 14-year-old that came to school and basically caused two teachers to pass away, and two teachers to pass away, and some students to pass away, as well as students to get injured. And this is a 14-year-old student that was on the FBI list prior, okay? And see, these are things that need to be discussed, right? When it comes down to how things are being managed and ordered in these public schools, right? Now, how does all this come into the point with keep men out of women's sports? Because, you know, you have people part of the LGBTQIA plus community will argue that, okay, I don't feel if you change certain things, Donald Trump, I'm not going to feel comfortable. I'm already going through things as a teenager. I'm already going through things as a child. I'm already going through things even at home. But if you implement things where I don't feel comfortable to express myself, they might feel that this is hurting their rights. Now, Georgia State, okay, Georgia State University. How does this come into play? I'm gonna you guys can look it up. But years ago, okay, a person went into a trans woman went into a female's restroom. Okay, and the women got so upset they reported this person to Georgia State University security and people in this building, and this person of the LGBTQIA plus community was asked to leave. Now, how did this come into play? Why am I mentioning this? Because this particular person ended up suing Georgia State University. Yes, this particular person ended up suing Georgia State University, and when they sued Georgia State University, okay, they ended up winning this lawsuit, so much to the point now in the present, Georgia State now has, guess what? Restrooms for both men and women, okay? So you go to Georgia State University, you're going to see restrooms, you're going to see things where, okay, it might be a restroom for both genders, right? Because they have to, you know, respect the quote unquote LGBTQIA plus community. And this is why Donald Trump, I found it. I'm so silly. I found it right here. It is core number 16, right? It says, cut federal funding for any school pushing critical race theory, racial gender ideology, and other inappropriate, you know, or political content on our children. So that goes to like that example that I just told you guys with Georgia State University. They were put in a situation through a lawsuit, with a member of the LGBTIA plus community. Basically now they have to provide facilities that, respect, that community. Okay. But if you look at one of the top 20 core Trump values that Donald Trump is planning on implementing, I'm going to highlight that. And I apologize, you guys. I've been up. Okay, it's a lot going on my end. But Donald Trump, he stated his plan is to cut the federal funding for any school pushing things that is not based off, like if it's not pertaining to reading, writing, arithmetic, okay, all this other stuff it should not be put into school. Like it should not. That's what he stated. That's what his views are. That's what J.D. Vance, his vice president, stance is when it comes down to quote unquote education. And that is why a lot of teachers are very upset right now. And a lot of schools are very upset right now because think about it. What's going to come with the federal funding, right? What's going to come with this? And then, I mean, he's coming at even college campuses. Look, I mean, look, to make our college campuses safe and patriotic again. Notice the wording. Notice the wordings of his actual core values. And if you guys don't believe me, you can look it up. I'm going to continue to read the comments. We'll go back into the comments. Thank you guys for coming in. Please hit that like button. And yes, we are talking about some of these core values. And the topic is, I'm going to make sure. And the question is, I want to make sure, should politics be discussed in high school? Why is the topic of that this morning? Because Donald Trump is now he won his candidacy to become the 47th president. Okay, and on his actual page, he discussed his top 20 core promises. Okay, and one of the promises is to cut federal funding for any school pushing critical race theory, radical gender ideology, and other inappropriate, or political content on our children. Okay. Then the other one said core promise number 17, keep men out of women's sports. Core promise number 18, make our campuses safe and patriotic again. Now I don't want to read that other part because I'm not trying to get, it's YouTube has their own thing going on. Okay, I don't want to get into it, but you can read the other part as far as number 18, what that says. Okay, you can read it. I don't want to say it. I don't want to say it. But like I stated, when it comes down to these key values, you have to take into play. Okay, how is this going to affect America, affect the school system, affect the families when Donald Trump when he goes into office? Because he's already showing you what's going to come. He's giving you a taste of what's going to come. And I'm going to go back into the comments. And hello, you guys. Please hit that like button. 427 people. And come on, can we please get some more likes, please? Please. This is Politic Graham. We're discussing politics. Nathan says, heck, in some states it's 16. Yes, as far as the quote unquote legal age, you're absolutely right. And Nathan says, I think only like 4 states is 18. Nathan says, newsflash, 17 is a legal adult in a lot of states. Jenkins says, well, welcome, Jenkins. Jenkins says, political ideology needs to leave schools. Yes. And see, this is what Donald Trump was talking about, right? He's stating this. And see, that is why I feel, I'm going to highlight what you said, Jenkins. Thank you for coming in. Jenkins says, political ideology needs to leave schools. Constitution, Bill of Rights, etc. all can be taught, but you shouldn't have to match your professors wild ideologies just to pass. And see, I can concur, because at the end of the day, we have to ask ourselves, you know, how is this affecting students? How is this affecting homes? Because you have to be careful when you talk about things like this. And I'm going to stroll back up. Why a specific teacher was put on administrative leave, okay, at the Moreno Valley High School. I'm sorry, I'm trying to straighten this tripod up, but he actually was recorded. Okay, he stated, all because a student walked into the class with a hat, with the Make America Great hat on. Okay, he sees that Make America Great hat on, he went hysterical. Okay. He went hysterical. You guys think I sound loud. You should imagine how it's recorded. It's online. You should imagine how hysterical this high school teacher got when he saw a Make America hat on a child's head, a student's head. Okay, and this was his quotes. Okay, he says, "I'm so effing sorry for you. Sorry, you guys. You deserve better. Look at me. You deserve better. I know a lot of Latino men on this campus, adults and students, that love Donald Trump. And he's called their mothers grapes. Grapes. And he says he's called them criminals. He's called them, I mean, he went hysterical, okay? Okay, he's mentioning grapes, okay? Like people are eating grapes, okay? And we're not talking about grapes literal. Well, that have to be for YouTube guidelines, grapes, okay? I have to use that phrase, grapes. Now, how did this affect him? This guy ends up getting put on administrative leave. And how do the students respond? The students, you know, they're going to take full advantage of this, okay? They ended up starting a change.org petition asking for their teacher to be allowed to come back to campus and come back to his position. And then on top of that, students plan to do a walkout, okay? They plan to do a walkout, and that was this past Tuesday morning. Now, that's why I said you have to be careful. And I want to stroll back down. You have to be careful, you know, just like Jenkins says, political ideology needs to leave schools. Constitutional Bill of Rights, etc., all can be taught, but you shouldn't have to match your professors' wild ideologies just to pass. And I completely concur with that. Like, that is just astounding. And see, this is where we are right now, America and the world, okay, as far as America goes. This is where we actually are. We're to the point where we are afraid. We are afraid, and we're getting so frustrated with politics that, you know, you have some people that, you know, state their voice like how I am and how you guys are, you know, respectfully, right? Such as Jenkins, such as Steve. And Jeremiah says, is this Mountain View High School? No, Jeremiah, it was Moreno Valley High School. That was one of the schools. Now, the other school, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it was Mountain View High School, but the one that I'm talking about is Moreno Valley High School. Jenkins says, you always got to wonder why certain people always want to work with kids. Many are genuine and love mentoring and teaching, and yet others genuinely want to influence your kids. I can concur with that, Jenkins, respectfully. And see, this is why here in Georgia, I can't speak ill will against the Republican Governor Brian Kemp. I can't speak ill will of him, because Governor Brian Kemp, he did all he could when it came down to the funding for education. Much respect to him. If you can look him up, I will do another video about that. But there, like I said, there was a high school, Appalachian High School. I think it was Appalachian High School here in Georgia, where actual 14-year-old student, he actually came to school and he actually caused 2 students to pass away. I forget how many students he also caused to pass away, as well as caused other people on the campus to get injured. Now, with this particular student, he was already on the FBI list. Yes, a 14-year-old, the year prior, okay, because he had been saying things he wanted to do in regards to the school, to himself as well, and students had reported him, people had reported him. And it's a video online where the FBI, and I'm not being funny, they actually visited this gentleman's house and his father's house. They visited his house and they asked him, about what was going on. And this 14-year-old student here in Georgia, that I'm talking about, you guys, who made headlines. I'm going to show who I'm talking about. He actually is on camera telling the FBI agents that he had been bullied, that he had been, and his dad, that he had been to six different schools within 1 year. And these are things that you have to take into play. You have to look at the foundation a child is at home, as also what they're going through, not only at home, but what they're going through in society. And last but not least, how do they deal with things at school? Okay, I want people to understand that with this 14-year-old, and I want to actually show you guys who I'm talking about. With him, he is now, his father is arrested. They arrested his father because of this, because they felt like his father was being negligent, because the boy actually did bring something to school. I can't say it, okay, that did cause a lot of injuries and people to pass away that he was not supposed to have, okay? And the device that he brought was in his father's name, okay? So, yes, the father ended up getting arrested. But like I stated, this boy had already been on the FBI list that I'm talking about, okay? He had already been on the FBI list. FBI agents had already allegedly came to his house, to his father's house, to question him. And I'm trying to find it, you guys, because these are things that, people need to actually know. And it comes down to proper training. Why? Because when this came out, they ended up calling out a counselor at the same high school, because people were reporting this 14-year-old boy, being having some issues, right? But they felt that the counselor did not do their quote unquote job. And I'm trying to actually show you a picture of the people that I'm talking about. It is a 14-year-old gentleman. And the reason I want to speak about that in regards to this, okay, when it comes down to Donald Trump and Vance, they want education in school to be, just keep it on the books, and then as far as resources go, if children are going through issues, have the resources available for them. And that is what Governor Kemp here in the state of Georgia, he supplied millions and millions of dollars for the security of these different schools, K through 12. And he also supplied a raise for the teachers. Yes. So like I stated, I can't speak for other states, but I can speak for the state of Georgia, that Governor Kemp, he did what he could do, right? But there's only so much a governor can do. Like, a governor can actually sign a bill to distribute where the funding goes, but then it's up to the local chapters as well as the schools itself to decide what to do with those fundings that was rendered by the governor. So with the 14-year-old student that I'm using as an example, okay, he needed help, and he was not being given the proper help. Now fast forward, because of what he did at Appalachian High School, his father is locked up, he is locked up, and his mother has been, she's been going through things, okay? And when I looked her up, allegedly, she was locked up, okay? So you have both parents and the son, they're both all going to be looking at time, okay? And even with the mother who was going through issues, she her family personally reached out to media saying that they called the high school to give the high school a heads up of what this 14-year-old was planning on doing. So I'm mentioning all of this to just say, you know, it's a lot more deep, right? It's deeper than what you see right here with this, you know, Donald Trump's core values, right? I can't say I disagree with him as far as, you know, just keeping it simple. You don't need to talk about the racial gender ideology and you know, I mean, those things, I mean, we can leave that out, right? And even with keep men out of women's sports. Okay, I can even concur with that, because even with men, biologically are stronger than women. So it's not fair to have a person that was biologically born a male to be in sports that are of women. I mean, well, I'm gonna be very careful. They, he, she, it, they, her, they will actually have an, you know, upper hand on, you know, women in women's sports. So some things I can concur, but like I said, what's to come if you're gonna plan on, because Donald Trump, he's cutting funding, educational funding, right? But like I stated, it's deeper than that, because just like I stated with what happened at Appalachian High School, this 14-year-old boy had been having problems. He been had problems. So how do you deal with students and children who need that extra set of resources, right? Who need those extra set of resources and need to speak to a counselor that knows how to talk and deal with matters such as that. Because like I stated, at this particular high school, there is a counselor that has been reprimanded, okay, due to the actions that transpired at Appalachian High School. And I'll talk about that. I'm going to actually show who I'm talking about in another live. But right now we're focusing on these core values of Donald Trump. And I'm going to continue reading the comments. Thank you guys for coming in. 420 people. Can I please get a like? And thank you guys for coming in. Can I please get a like, please? Narendra says, guys, hit the like and subscribe. Yes, thank you, Narendra. Yes. Nathan says, I stand corrected. 39 states, 17. And I want people to know anything that you say in these comments. I am taking notes what you say. And thank you so much, Nathan. You said there are 39 states that consider 17 legal age and 16 is legal adult. That's the rest are 18. Okay, I understand. I got you. And thank you for saying it. Hello, hockey. The country is gonna go in the, yes. I mean, some people are stating that. Yes, you know, some people are really like scared. And also fun fact, the week Donald Trump was he won his election, the percent did go up with people actually looking at other countries to move to. You know, they're actually like scared. They don't know what to do. You know, like it started doing a little bit around the Joe Biden administration. But when it was confirmed that Donald Trump had won, I think I saw on one website where 900%, it was a 900% increase of people actually looking for other countries to move to. So it's gotten to that level. And thank you guys for coming in. This is Politic Graham. Jenkins says, Aki, yeah, like last time. What happened last time? Aki says, what happened last time? Hockey says millions passed. Steve says this country needs to get energy efficient. California's got 68% gas tax. Whoa. Steve, are you serious? Let me highlight that. Whoa. That is, whoa. This country needs to get energy efficient. California's got a 68% gas tax. Whoa. Now, I'm glad you did speak on that, because that is another one of Donald Trump's core. That is another one of Donald Trump's core values, because he speaks about as far as the energy goes, right? He speaks about during his election time, you guys know his policy, his phrase was drill, baby, drill. And with core promise number 4, he says, make America the dominant energy producer in the world by far. And I'm glad that you mentioned that, Steve. I'm going to give you a badge. I mean, a blue jacket. I do like that you mentioned that, because even when it comes down to the people that he has put into his administration already, I want to actually show it to you guys. Give me one moment. Trying to see, is it in this one? Hold on. He has actually implemented, yes, these two gentlemen right here. Let's talk about these two gentlemen. Yes, Elon Musk and Vivek. I'm gonna just say his first name because I apologize. I cannot say his last name, to save me, Lord. He is of Indian descent. Very smart man. Vivek, very, very smart man. For people that don't know, we all know who Elon Musk is. If you don't know who Elon Musk is, I will give a brief detail of Elon Musk. Let me see if it's in here. No, it's not there. One moment, you guys. I was going to give a brief detail of Elon Musk. One moment. No, it's not there. One moment, you guys. And thank you for coming in as we're talking about the energy. What I highlighted, what Steve Vance said, this country needs to get energy efficient. California, he said, is at 68%. That is really interesting. I'm so serious. Like, that is just, whoa. Now, with Elon Musk, I will talk about Vivek. I like Vivek. I think with Elon Musk, I don't know what to say about Elon. Elon, okay, he's a billionaire. Multi-billionaire. As a matter of fact, people are very, questioning Elon Musk, what his real motives are, because he actually invested $70 million of his own money to support Donald Trump's campaign while he was running for president. And even to the point, he actually founded an organization called PAC when it came down to, voting. And he promised anybody that if you registered, this is during the election, if you registered and you lived in one of the 7 swing states and you registered to vote and you applied under, as far as the PAC organization that he has, he would randomly pick somebody every week up until November, I want to say November the 5th, the day of vote. No, it was before November the 5th. But he promised that he would every week reward somebody $1 million. And that was what was going around with Elon Musk. He actually was handing out, yes, ladies and gentlemen, $1 million check. Okay. He had $1 million giveaways. And I'm going to stroll down and highlight that. Okay. With his plan during Donald Trump's election, okay, campaign. So he was doing $1 million giveaways up until November the 5th. I thought so. For people signing his PAC's petition supporting First Amendment, which protects freedom of speech. Now, why am I mentioning Elon Musk? Because Donald Trump actually has given Elon Musk, yes, who's worth $300 billion. And Elon Musk, it's so funny. I gotta laugh. It's funny because it's so funny, you guys. The week Donald Trump won and became, official as far as the 47th president, Elon Musk's stock, as far as Tesla, had gone up. Okay. And the night, I'm going to just give you an understanding how wild it was as far as him making so much money I'm going to highlight it for you guys. Okay. Elon Musk, this is how you know you have rich man money, or rich woman, or rich man problems. Okay. Okay. Within one night, the very night, that Tuesday, or was it Wednesday, that Donald Trump had won, right? Within that 24-hour time frame, his stock, as far as the Tesla, had went up. I want to say it went up. Let me make sure. It increased, as you can see, it went up 50 billion from his Tesla company. The stock had gone up 15%. Okay. And by Friday, okay, that Friday of the election, Friday of November the 5th, that week of November the 5th, his company had hit $1 trillion market valuation. Okay. So these are rich people, problems. rich people problems are making money. Okay. Now, with Elon Musk, I will say this, because Donald Trump won both his company, Donald Trump's company, their companies have went up in stock as far as not only stock but valuation. And yes, you guys heard me right. Donald Trump's companies have went up as well. Now, Elon Musk, recently it was announced that him as well as billionaire Vivek, okay, Donald Trump has started a department. And in regards to what Steve Vitt, I highlighted, he said this country needs to get energy efficient. As you can see, Donald Trump, I'm highlighting what I typed. He started an actual efficiency department that's going to be over and ran by Elon Musk as well as the billionaire Vivek. Okay. He initiated this, and some people are questioning this because it's supposed to be approved by Congress. So the question is, how can you start a efficiency department if you have not already been inaugurated as president? So to cover himself, Donald Trump, this is what I believe. Donald Trump stated that the program, the organization department, will conclude no later than July the 4th of 2026, 2 years from now, right? And this is supposed to be an outside thing. Why? Because according to the law here in America, things are supposed to be signed and approved by Congress. You're supposed to get approval from the House of Senate, then the House of Representatives, and then it goes to the President Donald Trump. He would be president. He would be officially in next year. Okay, when he does the inaugural ceremony. But when it comes down to this particular program that he has already implemented, it stands for the Department of Government Efficiency. Okay. So Elon Musk, he has appointed Elon Musk as well as Vivek to be over this particular organization, or should I say the department. Okay. And with this particular program, I'm just going to state some things. According to what Donald Trump, he has said, he made a statement. Yes, he did. Dodge is intended to dismantle and cut regulations, restructure agencies. And I want to make sure, I hope one of the agencies that gets restructured, part of this Dodge department that he has formulated, that's supposed to be ran by these two billionaires, okay, is organizations such as FEMA. Because if you guys are just coming in, I did speak on how there was a lady that was wrongfully terminated, and then even with some people feel like they did not properly get the support from FEMA, who were victims of Hurricane Helen and victims of Hurricane Milton, recently here in America. So I do hope that this particular efficiency department that Donald Trump has already he's planning on implementing, that they do focus on, FEMA being one of the agencies that be, restructured, because nobody should not have to be terminated for doing their job, right? And that is what I had discussed earlier in this live when a lady was terminated. Yes, you heard right. She was terminated. This lady right here that I'm talking about, she is a former FEMA worker. She was terminated wrongfully for doing her job, and she showed the proof where she was given instructions from allegedly FEMA officials and workers above her head to avoid streets and areas that are considered, hostile to FEMA workers. Because in her words, when she was working for FEMA ever since 2019. FEMA workers, anytime they go out to register homes that have been damaged by hurricanes and anything such as that nature, they are not giving support from any form of enforcement to protect them, law enforcement to protect them. So they're walking out into these damaged communities, just, alone, right? Now, when it comes back to these gentlemen right here, Elon Musk, and thank you guys for coming in. Please hit that like button. Please hit that like button. We are talking about these two gentlemen right here. Donald Trump has already made a statement that he is planning on, he's starting a organization called Dodge, the acronym Dodge, which stands for, and I'm going to highlight it for you guys to actually see what I'm talking about. It stands for Department of Government Efficiency, right? And with this particular department, it's intended to cut regulations, restructure agencies, as well as dismantle bureaucracy. That's the plan. And it's supposed to only last for 2 years. We're going to see how that goes. Now there's already been scrutiny about this particular department that was developed by Trump, and it's supposed to be ran by Elon Musk as well as Vivek. It's because these two people, they do not have experience. They have either know a little experience, okay? Now, when it comes down to dealing with matters such as this, and people are really questioning, will this really help the country, or is this more so to help themselves? And why do I say that? I'm going to use Elon Musk as an example. Anybody that knows Elon Musk, one of his companies that he has formulated is called SpaceX, that deals with exploring outside, exploring the universe. Okay, when it comes down to that, as far as astronaut, okay, on those terms. Now people are really speculating, will this help him as far as providing funding for his personal company called SpaceX, right? So people are really, wondering. Now, I will, give a little detail in regards to the actual people who are supposed to be over this department, as far as this Dodge, Department of Government Efficiency Program. Now, when it comes down to Musk, I'm going to give a little bit of breakdown with Elon Musk. He's the richest man in the world. He owns Tesla, SpaceX, and like I stated, Tesla is now valued, just Tesla alone. We're not even talking about the other platforms that Elon Musk owns, but just Tesla alone, since Donald Trump won his presidential, and 47th president, within the matter of 4 days, you cannot make this up. Elon Musk's company Tesla is now valued at $1 trillion because of the 15% increase in stock from Donald Trump winning, 47th president. He also owns SpaceX and the social media platform X, that was once known as, we all should remember, Twitter. Now, he has a record of cutting spending, right? And I'm presuming maybe that's why Donald Trump got him, one of the reasons, because he has a record of cutting spending within businesses. Okay, Twitter. Okay, the company that was once known as Twitter, now he bought it, okay, after buying X. He conducted huge layoffs that made a lot of people upset. He reduced the company X from 8,000 to only 1,500 people. Okay, so I want people to understand, it's going to be they're not playing no games. They are not playing no games. And I say that because if Elon Musk, just think about it, if he didn't have no cares in the world of laying off it went from 8,000 people, okay, at a company, and now it done dropped down to 1,500 people. Just imagine how much he's going to end up doing when it comes down to this new efficiency department that Donald Trump has has started, in which him as well as Vivek are supposed to be over. Just think about it now. I'm just putting it out there. Vivek, the next person who has founded, who's going to be one of the people dealing with Dodge, okay, this department that Donald Trump has started. All right, and hello guys, thank you for coming in. Please hit that like button. Please show support, okay? And we're talking about the comment that I highlighted that Steve Vitt, shout out to you, Steve Vitt. He said this country needs to get energy efficient, and he stated how California got a 68% gas tax. And based off of Donald Trump, if anybody knows about Donald Trump, he stated that he wants to bring it back home. So we're going to see if that gas tax in California, is that going to be dropped? Okay, because those are one of the things and one of the reasons a lot of people in California, because California was once a quote unquote Democrat state, but then if we can see of this election, a lot of people, they jump ship and convert themselves to somehow Republican. But but Vivek, back to Vivek. Vivek is the next person. Vivek, he has vowed to reduce the role of federal government. He spoke about that when he himself ran for president. Okay, he's been speaking about that. Anybody who knows Vivek, that's the game. Okay, that's his moves. That's his ideology. Okay, Vivek's policy proposals included slashing Federal Reserve workforce by at least 90%. I'm going to see how, you know what? I can't wait to see how this comes about. I really can't. And deporting, now this I'm kind of wary about. He wants to deport American-born children of undocumented immigrants. Notice that. I don't know how he's going to do this under Trump's administration, but this is just kind of giving you what his views were when he was running for president, okay? He actually believes in deporting American-born children of undocumented immigrants, allegedly. Now, Vivek also himself, he is the son of Indian immigrants, okay? He's from Cincinnati. His father, and that's one thing I wanted to make sure I talk about when it comes down to Vivek. I want people to understand these people come from a very, let me not just say these people. That's I don't like saying it that way. Vivek, he comes from a family background that is very focused on education, work ethic, success all the way around, with even who you affiliate yourself with as far as associates, and even who you lay your head down with at night. Why do I say that? Because let's talk about Vivek, okay? Vivek's father was both an engineer as well as a patent attorney, okay, for General Electric, okay? His mother was a psychiatrist, okay? Okay, so these are things we have to look at. Now, why am I mentioning this as far as Vivek's personal background? Because it all comes into how he is who he is now, how he is the man he is now today. And I say that because one thing about Vivek, he graduated as valedictorian in high school, and he ended up getting a bachelor's in biology. Okay, and he used that biology degree to get into law school, right? Think about it. His father was an attorney, right? Now, how did this help him? Because that helped him become a billionaire. Okay, yes, I can't make this up. That helped him become a billionaire before he was even 35. Why? Because once he got out of law school, he actually started a pharmaceutical company that ended up going through the roof. And once that, went through the roof in the year of 2000, as you can see right here, 2014, he founded it, and it became very successful. That's when he ended up, okay, he ended up marrying his wife, okay, that he met while he was in law school. And his wife, she is an actual surgeon and researcher and professor herself. These are the things I wanted to notate that, and I know it's going to sound like I'm going off, but I want people to understand this, and this is a lesson, okay? you have to be mindful of who you associate yourself with at all times, even, and that's when it comes down to the resources of, making sure children, you start them from when they're a child, because that comes with the education. And me personally, I feel this, I could be wrong. You guys, you can correct me. Let me know if I'm right and let me know if I'm wrong. When you implement certain things that is outside of how a child is supposed to, grow up, and you start filtering their mind with, I feel like, fluff such as this, okay? I'm just gonna be honest. When you start filtering their mind like this professor did in Moreno Valley High School, he got so upset with Donald Trump's hat, seeing a Donald Trump, a kid expressing himself. He attacks them in the middle of class, okay, when he should have been focusing in on, okay, how are you teaching them, instilling them as far as, what you're supposed to do, as far as, the United States history, when it comes down to biology, math, arithmetic, not your personal opinions based off the fact you don't like Trump. That doesn't make sense. Now, when it comes down to Vivic, okay, I just told you guys how he was raised, right? He was raised in a home where his father was both an engineer, an attorney. His mother was a psychiatrist. And then to top it all off, he ends up marrying a woman that he met while he was in law school, and she was in going to school for to become a doctor, a physician. So I say this to say you have to be mindful of who you associate yourself with, how your whole circle has to be a success as far as a foundation for you to grow as a whole. And I can say I can respect that from Vivic, okay? Now, as far as these other policies, what he has going on, I can't say if I can concur. Because with him, this is the same person, Vivek, he stated earlier when he was running for president that he wanted to allegedly deport American-born children of undocumented immigrants. So my question is this: is that going to be part of the mass deportation that comes with Donald Trump once he becomes president? I mean, once he is officially in and Joe Biden is, all the way out. So then that's my question. Will part of this quote unquote efficiency, Department of Government efficiency, okay, will that be part of it? I'm just wondering. But I will say, when it comes down to the people that Donald Trump has appointed for this organization, I do hope that on one side that the gas taxes and such as California, that it does go down, because that's just ridiculous. 68% on gas tax is ridiculous. And I also will say, when it comes down to, I want to stroll down to the core values, back to those core values Donald Trump spoke about. He did state, I want to highlight this. He did state that he will discontinue, okay, taxing people who receive tips. Okay, I do believe that, people who get tips, anybody who has worked as far as being a waiter or waitress, or on levels such as that, taxing somebody who receives tips, that's just not fair. And I say that because people who work in that field, they're already making minimum wage. They're already not making enough, and that's how they survive. They survive off of tips. So I can respect the fact that Trump did say, okay, no tax on tips. I can respect that, right? I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I can respect that. And hello, you guys. Thanks for coming in. I was talking about some of these core values with Donald Trump. We talked about, do you feel high school politics should be included in high school? And now we're talking about the quote-unquote founders, or quote-unquote the new organization that Donald Trump has implementing or planning on implementing called DOGE, which is acronym for Department of Government and Efficiency. And he has these two people that's supposed to be over it. Elon Musk. Okay, these are billionaires. Elon Musk, who's worth $300 billion. Vivek, I cannot pronounce his last name for the love of God. He is also a billionaire. And this particular program is supposed to help. It's supposed to actually help somehow. I'm gonna just see, because Congress is, people are already kind of, scratching their heads. How can you formulate a department if it has not been approved by Congress, okay, yet? And I'm now going to go ahead and read some of these the chat. And please, you guys, this is PoliticGram. Please hit that like button. Please donate to the platform. And also, I do have a membership. I've already started a video. I'm going to start adding videos in the membership platform on some things that Mike can't really talk about per se, or if you need your channel built up as well, if you would like to get, advice or some type of, help with starting your own actual monetized channel. Okay, so I'm learning just like everybody else is learning, but I must be doing something, okay, because it's a blessing for me to even be in this position to be able to have freedom of speech and be able to talk to you guys and utilize what YouTube has given me the blessing to do, be able to state my opinion, and as well as welcome everybody from all over the world and all over America. I'm going to go into the comments. Thank you guys for coming in. Dodgy says, I am the same. Go down. Hello, Gian. Gian says, politics do not belong in school. Have you ever heard about history? No wonder 90% of Americans would not pass a basic history test. And see, this is what I'm talking about. This is one of the things J.D. Vance as well as Donald Trump, they're trying to actually state that they want to keep it back into the school. They don't want to add all this extra fluff in, right? And even to the point where Donald Trump even said in his core values, he even stated part of his core values, if you do not oblige as far as the fundamentals of education in these schools, your funding will be cut. Okay, that's basically just the gist of it. Hockey says poverty went up last time as well, and I want to also add on, not only has poverty gone up, but that is one of the reasons Donald Trump is planning on, and it's rumors speculating that he is going to get rid of the FBI director, Chris. I want to be able to show it to you guys who I'm talking about. He wants to get rid of this gentleman. If I can, let me go back up. The FBI director, Christopher, I think his name is Christopher. Give me one moment. I want to find it. I'm glad I read that poverty went up last time, because Donald Trump stated that it's been false narratives. Let me go. I'm trying to see where he's at. It's been false narratives as far as the crime has gone down, because Donald Trump actually stated in regards even to the crime, he stated how that because FBI has changed the criminal data, it's appearing to be one way when it's not. And I'm trying to actually show it to you guys. Give me one moment. Donald Trump actually spoke about this, and now people are wondering, is the director's job is going to be at jeopardy, since now Donald Trump, well, he is the actual president. I'm trying to see where it is. Give me one moment, you guys. I was looking for it. The actual FBI director, Christopher, if you guys know who I'm talking about, his job might be at jeopardy. Okay, his job. And it's not funny, but it's funny at the same time. It's not funny, but it is. His job might be at jeopardy. Oh, that's right. I can't show it. I just thought about it. It's in another file. Okay. I can't show it, but I'm going to have to actually talk about it talk about it in another live, because the last live I spoke about the FBI director Christopher Wray, Wray. Donald Trump actually said, and this is a guy that Donald Trump appointed. Okay, he actually appointed this guy. But the thing is, when it came down to Christopher, okay, it's looking as if Donald Trump might, have his position replaced. Why? Because if we go back years back, Donald Trump's house in Florida was raided by FBI agents, okay? Because of the documents that they stated, Jack Smith, the attorney, the prosecutor, stated was taken out of the White House. And they ended up finding all these documents at Donald Trump's house. They ended up finding all these documents. Now, Donald Trump was very upset and, still kind of about that, because, it's evasion of privacy. And even to the point, there's speculation in the present why Joe Biden's wife, Jill Biden, was not able to speak with Melania, Donald Trump's current wife, while Melania Trump, she turned down the invitation. Okay, Jill Biden tried to reach out to Melania, but if you guys can go back to when Donald Trump's house was raided by FBI agents, when they was looking for those documents, Melania did a video on her Facebook stating how, she felt like her, it was just her privacy, her family's privacy was invaded. Okay. And then to top it all off, I'm trying to see if I saved it. She felt like her family's privacy was invaded, right? And ever since then, it's been speculated that, it's been, some kind of ill will. Now, and that's some of the reason that Melania didn't go to the press conference recently of Joe Biden and Donald Trump. But Melania, people have to understand about Melania Trump, she's always been very private anyway. And even in response, she did send her office sent out a statement stating that, they didn't speculate what was false, but they did speculate that it has been some false narratives as far as the media about Melania, okay? And some saying maybe that statement that was put out saying that Melania, the reason she didn't go to the White House this time was because she still had quote unquote ill will against Joe Biden administration and Jill Biden. Now, I don't know if that's true, okay? But what I do know about Melania, anybody knows about Donald Trump's wife, current wife, she has always been a very private woman. She's always been a private person, even to the fact moving forward, it's been notated, she's not going to be as vocal as you see Jill Biden, Joe Biden's wife. She's not going to be out there like you have seen Michelle Obama. It has been said, allegedly, once Donald Trump gets all the way full into his position as the 47th president. And what are you doing up here? As the 47th president, he will actually have Melania. Well, Melania says she will be part-time in with the White House. Okay. So I just want people to understand, it's Donald Trump moving forward. It's going to be a lot. This is going to be a whole different change, a whole different, wave. Okay. Because that's the energy that he's trying to put out there. Like, he's basically trying to put out that I am not the same person that I was. I'm not the same person that I was 4 years ago. And I'm going to show you guys that I'm not the same person that I was years ago with this particular video I'm going to show you when him and Joe Biden actually were at the White House. Okay? They were at the White House. And I want to, let people understand that, at this particular time, we have to have unity. We have to be in a point where we have to move forward, right? We can't make somebody be something that they're not. And when I say make somebody be something that they're not, okay, Trump gonna be Trump, okay? And, Kamala Harris, she's always gonna be Kamala Harris, okay? And Joe Biden is still gonna be Joe Biden. But the thing of the matter is we cannot change what is already going on, right? We have to be together when it comes down to unity. And I wanted to actually show a clip of Joe Biden, and because I want to be fair when I do this platform. I don't want it to seem like I'm trying to, favor and show favoritism to one side versus the other. I wanted to actually show Joe Biden, just to be fair. And thank you guys for coming in. Please hit that like button. We are talking about just a lot of different things. But the clip I'm about to show you right now is Donald Trump and Joe Biden, sit actually at the White House. And this is the first time in the past 8 years, because the last time a president actually hosted the incoming soon-to-be president was President Barack Obama, okay, when he welcomed in Donald Trump, okay? And now this time it's Joe Biden, because if anybody can remember, Donald Trump did not host for Joe Biden to come in, okay? Did not host him to come in when he was president. Why? Because if we can go back during the 2020, it was speculation, and according to Donald Trump, it was a fraudulent election. Okay, his words, not mine. But this is a clip just to show unity. I'm going to show this particular clip of Joe Biden and Donald Trump, and this is supposed to be their showing of unity and how the country needs to unify itself and work together and not continue to be back and forth with each other.
Elect and the former president. Thank you. Donald, congratulations. Thank you. And looking forward to having like we said, a smooth transition. Do everything we can to make sure you're accommodated, what you need. And we're going to get a chance to talk about some of that today. So, welcome.
Thank you, thank you very much. And politics is tough, and it's in many cases not a very nice world, but it is a nice world today, and I appreciate it very much. A transition that's so smooth, it'll be as smooth as it can get, and I very much appreciate that, Jim.
You're welcome. Thank you all.
Now, I don't know how it might come after this. I really don't. I mean, all we can do is just hope for the good. And what I have highlighted, the part that you're looking at on the screen, these are the 20 core promises that Donald Trump has implemented, that he says he wants as part of his administration moving forward. And now, thank you guys for coming. Thank you guys for coming in. I'm going to read the comments. It all says first, what history? They don't even know who's Robert Cleveland. I said, what? Jenkins says everyone not named. Yes. Jenkins says, yeah, I can tell you're American. Betty says people are so delusional and brainwashed. How it's odd how I managed to be an honor student and college graduate with ever once having politics brought up in history class. Whoa. See, these are the things that I'm presuming that Donald Trump wants to bring back or keep, or make sure he keeps it that way, like what Betty said, and I'm going to highlight what she said. Thank you for coming in, Betty. Betty said, people are so delusional and brainwashed. It is so odd how I managed to be an honor student and college graduate with ever once having politics brought up in history class. Now that's a lot. That's a lot to think about. Hockey says, not engaging because you can't disappoint. Dudgy says, that age of consent, 18, is legal adulthood. It is. Nathan says, right, Betty, I went to college and never had a political class discussed once. Wow. See, these are the things I want people to understand. These are the things you need to focus on. Now, see, me personally, right, you can talk about U.S. history, right, and still keep the politics part out, right, because that is when you get, the issues, right? You get the issues in the point in the sense that, okay, as far as I use this as an example, I use this what's recently, like the example that I gave about here in Georgia State University. Georgia State University ended up getting sued for over $1 million just because a person of another of the LGBTQIA plus community didn't feel like they were treated right just because they were not allowed to go into a women's restroom, right? Are we supposed to talk about that in the history class? Are we supposed to talk about that in a high school class or elementary school class? Like, can a person that is dressed like a woman but has a biological male body part, can they go into a women's restroom? Like, are we supposed to talk about things like that in history? That's just my question. Doji says, I am an Army vet. Thank you for your service, Doji. Thank you for your service. Doji says, I'm an Army vet. I joined at 17. My mother and father had to sign a notarized release. Wow. It's like I'm learning so much. Thank you guys for coming in. And please hit that like button. I love the chat. Very interesting topic and conversations in the chat. Gian says, so you graduated without ever doing history? Oh, Gian, here you go. That is not what was said. That was not what they said, Gian. Nathan says, learning history and politics are not mutual. You can learn how politics works and affects history without a teacher bringing politics into it. I completely agree. And see, that is what I feel we need to bring it back to, right? We need to bring it back to, in the sense that give the children the information, right? And then leave it for the children to have their independent thinking once they have learned, okay, what it is in history, right? Give them their right? But don't instill it in them, like forcing it into them. And I feel when you put in certain things like forcing a little girl to be comfortable with a biological man walking into a women's restroom, like they should be just comfortable with them, in that restroom, then that's when we're taking it on another level. We're taking it on another level. And like I stated, with me, it's much respect to the LGBTQIA plus community. I have the utmost respect. I will, I will speak for, for them, right? I will speak for that community, right? Because I do feel like everybody should be treated fairly and equally. You have rights for a reason, okay? However, I do not feel that it should be forced on a little child, right? You shouldn't force it down a child in a child's mind, because the brain does not become fully developed until you get a certain age. So why would you instill something into a 5-year-old, a 10-year-old, even a 12-year-old, especially 12, preteen? Those are serious times. And thank you guys for coming in. Please hit that like button. Please share. Please subscribe. Please donate. However you want to do. Please support the channel. Please support the platform. Steve says, teach history in school so it will not repeat itself. Yes, and that's the issue that we're having going on. There's been high crime. There's been high crime in high school. There has been more issues. I don't think people understand that there have been more issues in public schools here in America than a lot of things. I'll say it that way. I'm trying to be very, very careful with how I express it, okay? But there has been a lot going on. And we need to have that focal point, right? We need to have that focal point when it comes down to providing the resources here in America, when it comes down to the education, when it comes down to the actual energy, okay? Efficient energy that Steve mentioned about, okay? Because people should not be in a position where they're paying 68% on gas tax. That should not be even a topic of discussion, okay? Especially when America itself is sending billions and billions of dollars to other countries, okay, to take care of them when we are not being taken care of ourselves here in America. That is my personal opinion, and I'm standing on it. Also, I'm going to move on to the next the comments in the chat. Please, you know, donate, hit the like button, okay, share the live, and last but not least, subscribe. This is Politic Graham. Donji says, Nathan, what did you go to college for? Was it civics based? Nathan says, I joined at 17 as well. Too bad. Oh, 16th infantry. Okay. Donji says, freedom of speech is not reading books to kids. Now see, I can't say that. Look, I can't say that, Doji. But Nathan says, never had to have my parents' consent. Went to basic, never had their consent. Dave, thank you for coming in. We need to be able to speak civil to each other about politics. Yes, we do, David, but how can we speak civil when people are calling each other names and saying the other person is dangerous? Okay, these are things that was put out there recently about, you know, other parties saying that this party is dangerous and this and this, and you can't be civil when you're coming like that. Narendra says, guys, chill. Yes, please. Let's be respectful, you guys. And thank you guys for coming in. I apologize, I'm so late. Patrick says, Patriot, thank you so much for coming in, Patriot. Is this woman really defending men in women's sports? I support Trump. Patriot, you are not. Are you just coming in? Because I never said I was defending men in women's sport. I never said that. Are you really? Are you a patriot? That's the question. Because if you're a patriot, as you say what your name is, okay, you would be a patriot and support this platform, because this platform welcomes all people from all cultures, parties, genders, and I never said that. If you had been in here earlier, I said that men biologically are stronger than women, okay? So it doesn't make sense for a person that has a male body, okay, and a male gender, okay, they are physically gendered, okay, and born as a male, to be in women's sports. That is what I said, okay? So please, let's just bring it back, okay, regroup and do our research and be that person that you say that your channel is, patriot, okay? Be patriotic to yourself first. Doji says 17 requires parental consent unless you turn 18. Carla says corrupt judges. And see, Carla, that's the thing. That's another thing that's an issue. And I'm gonna talk about that, because people are really wondering what's going to happen to what is going to happen to the Supreme Court of Justices right now, right? It's a lot of things coming into it, right? It's about to be a huge shakeup. Nathan says, never had parents' consent. Narendra says, guys, hit the like and subscribe. Yes, guys, thank you for coming in. Let me go back down. Let me go. And hello, Kuma boy. Thank you for coming in. Kuma boy. Thank you so much for coming in. And yes, please hit that like button. Let's try to see if I can pin this. Yes, you guys, we're talking about a lot of things. I was supposed to talk about not Donald Trump. I was supposed to also talk about Diddy. I would say this much. I would do another live on Diddy. It's up to you guys if you guys want me to talk about Diddy or not, or I'll talk about it in the next live. I might do another live today. But like I stated, and hello, the Herbal Goddess. Thank you for coming in. Tara says, where do you think he's going to get the money from? Now, I don't know. This is my thing, and that's another issue with when it comes down to the Trump administration. Like, it's going to be a lot of money spent. right? It is going to be a lot of money spent. Why? Because if you see the core promises that Donald Trump has implemented, one of the core promises, he did say large tax cuts for workers and no taxes on tips, right? So some people are questioning where is he's going to get all of this money, and then also people are wondering, sealing the border and doing a mass deportation. All of that's going to cost money. It's going to cost a lot of money. It's going to cost up there. And the question is, where is this money going to come from, right? Where is it going to come? Is this going to cause America to become even more in a deficit than it is now? Will it cause the inflation to go even more higher than it is now? Those are questions. Those are questions. And thank you guys for coming in. Please hit that like button. Please subscribe. Please share the live. I'm reading the comments. I'm sorry, you guys. Hey, Tracy, thank you for coming in. Don't be mad at me, Tracy. Tracy says Trump is doing what now, PG? Tracy, basically Donald Trump he's already started his core promises. He's released his core promises, is what I discussed. Some of the things that he has released that I have highlighted. The first thing is seal the border and stop the migrant invasion. Cut taxes on tips. I think that would be very beneficial for, waiters and waitresses and people who depend on a living off of taxes. And also one of the core promises, I'm not going to read them all. One of the core promises that was discussed today in this live, he said, defend our Constitution, our Bill of Rights, and our fundamental freedoms, including freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and the right to keep and bear arms. Also, some other core promises that Donald Trump spoke about. He said, cut the federal funding for any school pushing critical race theory, radical gender ideology, basically anything that's forcing a person or forcing a student to, deal with somebody that is not, how can I say it? That wasn't born what they were biologically. I say it that way. Okay, and Tracy, if you're just coming in, I had spoke about here in the Georgia State University. Georgia State University, they lost over $1 million when they lost a lawsuit from somebody who was told they had to leave the premises because they went into a female's restroom and they biologically a male, but they were dressed as a female. And because of that, Georgia State now not only have men restrooms and women restrooms, but they also have restrooms that is for both. Okay, because of that, that's just giving you, a heads up. And one of the core values that Donald Trump spoke about, he says he wants to make our college campuses safe and patriotic again. Okay, these are things that Donald Trump is, he wants. We can all want and hope and wish, but I don't know what's to come, because at the end of the day, you still have to go by what Congress agrees with, what your Senate, what your House of Senate, what your House of Representatives will approve of. And Tracy, if you're just coming in, one of the things that Donald Trump has started a department, efficiency department, that people are already, upset about because he did not get the approval from House of Congress. Okay, he's already started a program that is supposed to be ran by 2 billionaires. Okay, and it's supposed to last for 2 years. It's supposed to end by July the 4th of 2026, and this program is called Department of Government Efficiency. Basically, it stands for Dodge, and basically this department is supposed to restructure agencies such as FEMA. Okay, because FEMA recently got scrutinized for terminating a lady by the name of Maureen Washington. Okay, she was wrongfully terminated after working for FEMA since 2019 because people who was in her group, they did not like what she was instructed by FEMA to do. She was told to avoid, houses and areas where they felt it was hostile or damaging. Okay. And the picture that you're looking at, you guys, this is one of the homes that had a Trump sign. And they tried to insinuate that Miss Washington, she did not register any homes that had Trump signs or, things of that nature. But come to find out, with Miss Washington having provide proof that that was not true, she did get the okay from people above. Okay. And as part of the rules, that if the house is painted purple, has purple rocks, purple signs, that is a sign to stay away by the owners of these homes. Otherwise, you can be, they have a fair right as citizens to protect themselves. Okay. So this is what this lady was saying. Okay, as far as FEMA goes, to argue what happened to her, she lost her job recently because she was allegedly she was wrongfully terminated by FEMA because it was put out that she told the people that she was leading to not register homes that have the Trump signs. Okay, but like I stated, that was not true according to her. She said she was given the permission, that because people who were with her, okay, at Lake Placid, Florida, she said they did not feel comfortable because they were actually being attacked by some people in these neighborhoods, and she forwarded that information by phone to FEMA officials. And that's when they told her, one person told her that she was, we have to protect our team and to avoid any areas where they feel they might be in danger. Why? Because according to Miss Washington, FEMA does not provide protection to anybody that works in the field. Okay. When they're going out surveying these homes, registering these homes, they do not provide law enforcement to protect them. So basically they're going out there, hands out, whatever happens. So that is one thing I feel this particular new department that Donald Trump has implemented, or he's planning on implementing, because I don't know if it's going to even get all the way approved by Congress yet. I don't know. But Donald Trump did say that this for now is an outside department per se. But how can you be an outside efficiency department? I don't know. Because what they're planning on doing, they want to restructure agencies. They want to actually cut regulations. And like I stated, if it's true how they did the lady with FEMA, there needs to be some type of, restructure. Okay. Because you should not lose your job doing your job. Okay. And you should not be used as a scapegoat. Okay. And I'm just putting it out there. Right. You should not. And for the record, with FEMA, FEMA has been founded years ago. I'll talk about that another live. I don't want to get too much into it because I don't want to call no former president out, because I do have respect for this former president, and I don't want to call nobody out because they're 100 years old right now. And if you know who I'm talking about, you know who I'm talking about. But I'm not going to say their name because I have the utmost respect for this former president who is now still alive and is 100 years old, and they did vote here in Georgia. So you connect those dots. Now, moving forward, like I stated, with this particular program, it is being ran by two multi-billionaires, okay, Elon Musk as well as Vivek. I did discuss that. And hello, guys. Thank you for coming in. Please hit that like button. I think that's about it. Let me see. Now, I will say this. If you live here in America, please put in the comments, when this live is over, put in the comments, do you have high hopes for America wants Donald Trump. Do you believe in that phrase Donald Trump has said, make America great again? Do you believe America will be made great once again? Do you believe that? And also, I want to stroll down. And also, do you believe, let me go back up. Do you believe that politics should be discussed in high school? Like, do you believe that? Should politics be discussed in high school? And I want you guys to put it in the comments. Do you believe that? Okay. You can put it in the chat as well, but I'm saying once this live is ended, put in the comments how you really feel. Do you feel that it should be, taken out? You shouldn't be discussing about politics. Leave that out. Leave that for somebody else to deal with. Okay. And I'm going to go back into the comments. Thank you guys for coming in. I appreciate it. Hello, G. I don't want to say your whole name. Says everything looking good so far. Trump gonna fix this mess. What? Okay. And Rachel says, thank you for coming in, Rachel. Rachel says, I think he's going to tear everything down and rebuild the education system with Charlie Kirk, supposedly. Woo. Sleepy, thank you for coming in. Just going to school not even a decade ago. We didn't have all this racial nonsense nowadays. This is all post 2020 education. Whoa. Isa says, why would you want a transitioning and gender affirming care when we all don't need that thing? We all need jobs, good money, freedom of speech. And I completely agree. We do need, and that's one thing I want people to understand, like, what is going on with, such things such as, this inflation with groceries, with bills, with even people owning their homes, mortgage, things on that level. These are things we need to have a discussion about, right? Isa said it best. We all need jobs, good money, freedom of speech. These are things I wish we focus, have a more focal point on, don't fall for the, the extra fluff, I mean, it's nothing against other people's, views, as far as, certain things, but the focal point at the end of the day, I want people to ask, think about it this way. Think about it this way, right? Is what? No, I'm not going to say. I got to be careful with my words. I'm going to be careful with my words. I don't want to end up like Miss Washington. I don't want that. I don't want it. But I will say this, okay? It's like what Isa said. We all need jobs, good money, and freedom of speech. I will agree with that. Aki says, that's what you think is being taught in schools. What are you guys talking? You guys are having an argument in this platform. What's going on? Hello, you guys. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate. We had an absolute wonderful live. Shout out to Kuma Boy. Shout out to Aki. Shout out to, let me read it. Thank you, Aki, for coming in. Issa for coming in. Sleepy. Rachel for coming in. G, I can't say your whole name. Thank you for coming in. Tracy, thank you for coming in. Colton, the Herbal Goddess. Narendra, thank you for coming in. There's a lot of people in here. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming in. Let me make sure. Northern, thank you for coming in, Northern. Thank you so much for coming in, Carla, Nathan, Lori, thank you for coming in. I appreciate it so much. Now, I will say this, and I tend to do this, but this is my question before I go. Do you guys want me to talk about the Diddy, okay, in this live? Do you guys want me to talk about Diddy in this live? Because I can talk about Diddy in this live, or I can do another live and talk about Diddy in another live, okay? It's all how you guys want. One more thing before I go. I wanted to actually, because I've been missing this guy. I've been missing him. I wanted to talk about him for the longest, because he went to court last week for he went to court last week for not handing over his possessions and cash that he was supposed to hand over in the defamation lawsuit that he lost for over $148 million to be exact. Okay. And because of that, the judge, this judge right here, Judge Liam Lewis, Judge Lewis Lyman, he actually told, he's not trying to hear all these extra excuses, because that's what they are, extra excuses, and basically told Rudy Giuliani, this gentleman that you see smiling like $1 million, okay, like he has Elon Musk money, $300 billion. But according to the paperwork that he has filed, he has tried to do a bankruptcy, saying that he doesn't even have, quote unquote, $1 million, okay, in response to this $148 million lawsuit that he lost. The judge has basically told him last week that he had until this Friday to tell these women, the women I'm talking about, the election workers, these two ladies right here, former election workers, a mother and daughter, Ruby Freeman as well as Shay Moss. These are two former election workers that were in Georgia that won a over $148 million lawsuit, defamation lawsuit against Rudy Giuliani. They won that December the 18th of last year, 2023. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are going on to another year, okay? Because this is November the 14th of 2024, and Rudy Giuliani has not given these women anything, okay? He said, pray on it and lay on it. Now, with that being said, okay, this judge right here, Judge Lewis, he's not hearing it. He's the one that has told Rudy Giuliani, you're going to have to pay up, okay? You're going to have to pay up. And even last week, even hinted out he might even hold Rudy Giuliani's attorney in contempt of court, because last week they tried to use it as an excuse that the reason Rudy Giuliani has not been able to hand over certain possessions is because it's in a storage room that he does not have access to, okay? And also with some of the possessions that is being requested for Rudy Giuliani to hand over. And I'm just going to read certain things that is supposed to be handed over, okay? Rudy Giuliani's New York apartment, okay? Let me go down. I want to make sure okay. Rudy Giuliani's New York apartment worth $5 million. His Palm Beach condo worth $3.5 million. Also, I want to go back up. Also, his Mercedes Benz, okay, that is 1980. And I think they say that's worth $25,000. As well as World Series rings and custom jewelry that are up at about $30,000. Okay, and then also 26 watches. Okay, these are things that Rudy Giuliani has not handed over. Okay, and like I said, he say pray on it and lay on it. But the judge last week has said he's giving Rudy Giuliani until tomorrow. Yes, he gave Rudy Giuliani a week, basically to hand over the cash that he has, as well as the possessions that he have. Okay. Now Rudy Giuliani, I don't know what's to come, but as you can see this smile that he has, I don't think he thinks he's gonna give anything. I don't know. He's gonna fight this out. Now I'm gonna play a clip of Rudy Giuliani, what his response was last week. What response was last week in regards to all this that's been going on. And one moment, I'm going to okay, this is a video that he did last week in regards to how he feels he has been treated and how he feels as far as the possessions that he's being forced to relinquish to these two women.
They're entitled to it. Now, the law says they're not entitled to a lot of it. For example, they want my grandfather's watch that's 150 years old. That's a bit of an heirloom. Usually you don't get those unless you're involved in a political persecution. In fact, having me here today is like a political persecution. The judge knew I couldn't come today. He's also scheduled a trial for right at the time of Donald Trump's inauguration. Gee, I wonder why he did that.
Now, that was Rudy Giuliani last week. Now the big question is, what's the come of Rudy Giuliani tomorrow? Because he will have to report tomorrow back in court, and he will have to actually, provide all what those ladies are owed, a part of that over $148 million defamation lawsuit that he lost and they won. Okay. And I want to say also, shout out to Inner Beauty. I think that's her name. She spoke about, and I want to talk about that before I go. I want to talk about, speaking up and having a chin up no matter what you go through, because I had a conversation with her, and, we go through things in life, but you have to learn how to move forward. And when I talked to her, I just want to hit on some key notes. She said that, we go through things, and you have to always, you have to always try to, talk to someone if you feel like if you feel alone, because you're never really alone, right? And for me personally, I want people to know, I always end things on notes like this before I end it. Know that you're not alone, and also be mindful of who you talk to, because sometimes when you talk to certain people, they can actually, set yourself up to fail, right? And that's when you have to actually have the inner voice to believe in yourself to move forward when you're doing things in life. Sometimes, what's the old saying? Peace is more powerful than being so loud and attacking people, especially when it comes down to dealing with your inner demons or dealing with what you have to go, deal with. Because sometimes people don't have to know all what you go through, right? It's a lot of things I'm going through right now. I'm not going to say what I'm going through, but because I don't like putting my burdens in somebody else's lap. I'm trying to get better, okay? Because sometimes you can have too much pride, right? And in response to Rudy Giuliani, he don't have no pride. He don't have, he could care less. If he needs help, he needs help. He filed for bankruptcy in response to this $148 million lawsuit, okay? But I just want people to say, sometimes you have to just, ask yourself, what is it that you're doing, right? And then reevaluate your life, reevaluate yourself by writing things down, taking, writing, pros and cons of yourself, of what you are doing, right? And the people that you're talking to, because sometimes, like I said, you can set your own self up to fail and not even know it. Now, I want to say it on that note, and thank you guys for coming in. And I always end it on this note. Now, I will say shout out to John, you know who you are. Shout out to John. Shout out to Joy. Thank you so much. You guys, I still, have the utmost respect for you guys for doing what you did in the last live. And if you guys don't know, I implore you guys to look at the last live. It was very emotional. It was very memorable. Thank you so much. And also, I would like to thank you guys here in this live for coming in. It is also a memorable moment. Thank you so much. And also, as always, I always mention these things to do as a daily note to yourself. This is Thursday. And I want to say this. The first thing, I always say, eliminate the if, focus on the present. The second thing, who donated $5? Wait a minute. Oh my God. Thank you so much. I got to read it. I can't even see it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I can't see it. Oh my God. No. I'm not going to do it. You guys going to make me cry again. Oh my God. Thank you so much. Oh my God. Jesus. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I'm like trying not to get emotional. Thank you so much. Oh God. If you guys know the live that I did last time, I got really emotional, but thank you so much for the donation. Like I said, people don't know what I go through and what, and that's with anything. People don't know what people go through in real life. I tell you, if I could write a story, I will. But people go through things, but it's how you look at things and how you treat people. I really believe that. I stand on that. And I also stand on, being a voice for people who are not heard. I really do. I really stand on that. And thank you so much for that. I appreciate that so much. I really, really do. And I'm trying to maintain my composure because I got really emotional the last time. But thank you so much. Yes, thank you again. I want to say this with before I end what I always end it with, these last notes. I'm getting flustered now. Thank you so much. The first thing is eliminate the if, focus on the present. And the second thing, focus on self and not of others. And tell yourself, I will learn something new every day. And I thank you guys. I thank you guys genuinely from the heart, because there's one thing I like about since I started this platform. I learn something new every day. I really, really do. Shouts out to you, Steve Witt. Shouts out. I really, really do. And I really make it I really make an opportunity for myself to learn something every day and learn something about somebody, right? For myself growth. The next thing is tell yourself, I will not get upset at what I don't have nor can control. The fourth one is advocate for yourself. This is the last one. Advocate for yourself and speak for yourself, because if you don't speak for yourself, who else will? And on that note, thank you guys for coming in. Thank you so much. You guys just don't know how much this is a mental help for me. Like, I might do another page or put it in my membership, expressing what I go through and things, outside of this. And I might, discuss it in the membership, part. Like I said, I never I don't like putting my burdens in somebody else's lap, right? I'm trying to get better and be a better person, as far as learning how to speak up. And on that note, thank you so much, you guys. Always remember, have a peace of mind and peace. This is Politic Gram. Thank you so much. Bye.